the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid. We are back in here for our lovely Sunday hangout, man. And we've got things to discuss. We've got things to discuss. So I don't know how long this hangout is going to be going for, but there are things that need to be addressed. And as always in these hangouts, we always trying to have a very open dialogue, man. So obviously we're hoping to we already have some of the dudes in here. Ahmed, Hazem, Abdullahi. Hopefully Muntaz is going to come up. Jujuman said he'll be up. Red said he'll be a bit late, so he'll be around in here as well. So hopefully we'll have most of the regulars back in this lovely thing, man. So, and also, of course, shout out to the members that have joined the Football Hots, your boy Rotimi, your boy Josh, and your boy Erhan. Thank you for those members who have become part of the Football Hots family. So look, man, without further ado, man, let's get down to what was the biggest story of today. I thought we would start off with the Super Cup, the Spanish Super Cup, and I thought we'd talk about how Simeone needs to quit, and how Simeone needs to try and find himself another job. But that's not where we're going to be rolling in. We're going to be rolling in somewhere different, man. We're going to be coming in with the Cannibal. The Cannibal is out for 4 months. Surgery on his knee, out for 4 months. And for all of you mathematical merchants out there, that means that he is pretty much out for the season. He's out for the season. And that is huge, because I really believe that if Barcelona do not get a striker this month, I think their season is over. And not only their season, I think this era of Barcelona could be over. People may say that I'm going to be crazy with that, but I think could be. So let's roll in there with Ahmed. So Ahmed, with this with the loss here of your boy Cannibal Suarez, do you believe that this is a case of where it's now over? Or do you think that there's actually still a chance for because for me, like, okay, just put it simply here. Like, the question here is let me just give you a background. Messi is amazing. He scores goals, he makes assists, he scores goals, he makes assists. But I cannot envision a team with Messi and with that squad as it is. Griezmann isn't a high goal scorer. Who the hell is Perez? Ansu Fati is still a child. I don't know how Barcelona can function and win a whole bunch of games with Messi as the main goal scoring threat, whilst also being the playmaker if they don't have an out-and-out striker. So do you think I am crazy in saying that with Cannibal gone and them not getting a striker, it is over for them this season? Or do you think that it could be a blessing in disguise? Ahmed?
It's by no means a blessing. I mean, they lost one of their main goal-scoring threats for the season. But in terms of whether the season's over, I don't think it is, simply for the fact I know he's the playmaker and he's all this, but if you have Messi in your side and you're Barcelona and Messi still plays the way he does, you still have a chance. That's the thing. And not to mention the fact that Antoine Griezmann, we know he's not at the level of Suarez, back when Suarez was, peak Suarez, but Griezmann can step up, and if the brick Ernie can play him in his proper position, as an out-and-out striker instead of Suarez for this time being, maybe they can work something out. However, what this is going to damage is their squad depth, because now they're down a striker, and you might see Ansu Fati more. We're going to see Griezmann playing more. We're going to see these players playing more. But in terms of Barcelona's season, you can't completely give up. Sure, it's a big hit, but they still have time to sign a striker. That's first thing. Secondly, they have Griezmann.
No.
What was the point of?
But let's say they don't sign a striker, or they don't sign a top striker this month. Then what? You still feel that with Messi, Griezmann, and the rest of the team, they can still defend the La Liga title? Because Champions League that's a write-off now. But can they still defend the La Liga title if they don't buy a top striker this month?
It's going to be competitive. I'm not saying that they're going to be guaranteed to defend it, but there will be a title race. Even without Suarez, they can keep up a title race, because what was the point of signing Griezmann? Tell me, what was the point of the signing if he's just going to, just lay back while Suarez is injured and watch Barcelona crumble? That's the first thing. Secondly, in terms of end of an era, this Barcelona era won't end until Messi retires. As long as Messi, even if he's shining the shoes of players, that era still hasn't ended yet. Even if he's 50-something shining players' shoes, like, that era isn't over. Now, Messi is the defining factor of that era. You see what I'm saying? And then, but
Okay.
squad depth, I think that's going to be hit hard. I don't see them being able to mount like a Copa del Rey challenge this season, simply for the fact that they don't have the squad depth to do so with the league and Champions League.
Okay. Abdullahi, how do you think this kind of ball injury will affect the team and Barcelona?
For me, I think it's two ways. The first way is I want to say Antoine Griezmann plus number 9. Let's see how good he is as number 9, because right now Ousmane Dembele is an injury-prone player. I would have said Ousmane Dembele.
Respect the Oos. Respect the Oos. Respect
he's
the
an
Oos.
injury player. HH is an injury player. It's not been serious ever since he started for Barcelona. He has not been serious player. So Ansu Fati, yes, but the problem is now we want to start Ansu Fati with Messi together and Griezmann at number 9. You can't be starting all of the three of them together in the match. They're gonna be a situation where they're gonna feel tired. So they have to rotate. Now they have no rotation. Because what I'm hearing now is I'm not the person who told me is like a reliable Chelsea Chelsea analyst telling me they want to spend 130 million on Tammy Abraham. I'm just laughing when they said it. I was like, are you kidding me? When I spend that kind of money on, are you sure Chelsea is gonna release Abraham in this January? I doubt it. I doubt it. It's not gonna happen. I'm not even sure about it, because I know Magana gonna scare. It's not gonna budge out 130 million and tell you, okay, take Abraham when we have no replacement. Is our number 9. So it's not. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm not even sure about that. So in terms of Antoine Griezmann, he needs to play as number 9. Let's see how good he is. If he can play, like if Ousmane Dembele can be fit and Messi playing, and with the way Messi is playing now, they have a chance. They have a very, very good. And the second one is Ernesto Valverde. Is he gonna be the manager for tomorrow? Because I think there's an
I'll see it, because we're hearing Xavi may take over. So
Xavi has rejected the offer. Is the Barcelona team B that is kind of taking over now?
Yeah, Xavi said he's focused on El Saad right now.
Right. Bro, he's waiting for the right. Guys, come on, use your brain. He's waiting for the right offer. Okay, if they give him the right offer, the right circumstance, and he has the ability to do what he wants, he'll take over the.
He said he wants to take over in June, end of the season. So I think the Barcelona team is the one taking over. We need to know Ernesto Valverde's situation first before we decide. Because for me, the problem is not Valverde. I keep saying it. The problem is Baltimore himself. The Baltimore himself is the problem, because you can never be a president in that football club, and you can't make it. Tell me, as a president, what has been what has been overall success as a president? If you're a leader, we need to see a capability of a leader in you. This is it. I'm a leader. This is what I can do. I cannot do. Baltimore for me is the main culprit in this Barcelona combos for so many years. I understand the team has not been the real Barcelona.
Okay, so do you think it will affect them? Yes or no?
It will affect them, because if they cannot get a proper striker in this January, it's gonna affect them.
Okay, so it's basically if they don't get a proper. Okay, all right. Juju man, how much do you think it will affect Barcelona?
I think this is the next key decisions that Barcelona make are very key. It will define their season.
Whoa! What? That's a bit dramatic. Define their season.
Yeah, it'll define their season. First of all, I think this is a blessing in disguise. I think Ahmed mentioned it, but this is a blessing in disguise because Luis Suarez, I mean, he has sometimes he has good performance, sometimes he doesn't. But
basically, you're saying he's a brick. You're saying Suarez is a brick.
But I don't think. Yeah, but I don't think. I think sometimes his friendship with Messi gets in the way. I mean, gets in the way of the team. So I think this is a blessing in disguise, because Griezmann has 7 goals, 4 goals less than Suarez. So it'll give him more opportunity. I think Suarez has 11 in La Liga. It'll give him more opportunity now that Griezmann is out, and then Dembele now gets a second chance. And what's it called? Messi is not biased he won't be affected, because when Suarez is there, I mean, he's his buddy. So now he has to be more. He has to be more like I don't know.
So I'm hearing. So you think that Barca can cope?
Yes,
or you think that it's dependent on who they buy in January. If they buy somebody good in January, they don't buy a top striker in January. Are they finished?
I don't think they need a striker. I mean, because the rumor is like Cavani, but trust me, I've watched Cavani over the years. You're better off without a striker.
Gentlemen, I don't think it's Cavani. What I'm hearing, they said they want to buy Tammy Abraham.
That's Chelsea propaganda. Tammy Abraham,
I'm
this guy,
serious.
he hasn't done anything, so he's not up to Barcelona standards.
Okay, so Jordan,
Wait, so with the coach, I think they need to get more of because the problem I'm looking at where Barcelona is going to get is because Valverde is so pragmatic. It's going to be a lack of goals because of this, and they need to, so if they change the manager, I don't want them to change to Xavi. I mean, Xavi is not qualified for Barcelona. I know people are emotional these days and they want to make club legend, but Barcelona, you have to find your way to Barcelona.
What if he's the next
Just
Pep?
don't hire anyone.
What if Xavi becomes the next Pep?
Look, Pep. That's Pep. I mean, let's talk about. I don't want to talk about Pep, but this guy.
No. Don't talk about Pep. Don't talk about Pep yet.
But with Pep, I mean, he hasn't won anything in Europe since Messi. But we're going to leave that in another discussion. I mean, start fighting irrelevant trophies. But we're going to leave that to another discussion. But with Xavi, I mean, it's fine if you're a mid-table team like Arsenal.
Wait, focus on Xavi. Just give me a concrete answer.
Yes.
With Suarez out, is this the end of Barcelona's season? Or are you saying that you believe they will buy somebody good in January and they can still cope?
I think two key points. I think first, I think this is they should not buy anyone in January. The key decision they should make is they should sack Valverde. Get like a Ten Hag. I know Ten Hag flopped with Ajax, but he has a system. Get like a proper manager who's a bit offensive, who has like a structure, and the ball will come through.
They
just need to get Valverde.
So basically, gentlemen, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that they shouldn't, they don't need a striker.
Yeah.
They should sack Valverde, and if you bring in a new dude, you believe that side chick known Antoine Griezmann is going to become a world-class big-time player without a striker. Okay.
And Dembele, and don't Xavi too.
No, don't mention the
manager.
The Us is going to Chelsea. No,
this is not Man United.
They disrespected the
Us. Real manager
coming to Chelsea. Nah. Barca fans had their chance. All right. Vas, how much is this going to affect Barcelona? Suarez coming out?
See, I think we can completely rule out Barcelona's chances in the Champions League at this point because, like, without Suarez, I mean, even if you think back to like the
well, Suarez has been garbage in the Champions League though.
Yeah,
so
but even if you think back, look, even in the Champions League, I think you need a proper number 9, and even if you think back to the first leg against Liverpool, like Suarez was the one who opened the scoring, and he also created the second goal. So I think like without Suarez, like I don't really see them at all. They have really no chance of winning the Champions League, and they weren't favorites to begin with. Otherwise, I fully agree with Ahmed because if you have Messi, you always have a chance in La Liga. But at this point, like it's neck and neck points-wise between Barcelona and Real Madrid. And with Hazard, Asensio, Bale, Benzema like coming back soon, I think you would have to put Real Madrid as the favorites now, and Barcelona as the second favorites. And
I disagree, but I have but it's your time. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to do because like clearly like the Super Cup showed that Madrid is the best team in Spain right now. There's no doubt about it. And
true,
like,
but Vas, do you think
let him not.
And the second thing is like, okay, so this whole thing about Xavi, like whoever, like, and you know the striker, like the thing is that yeah, maybe a striker would benefit them in January, sure, but how much money do Barca really have for transfers? I don't think they have that much, and I don't think they're gonna buy a striker. Griezmann as a false 9. I mean,
so basically, I'm hearing that you see. So I'm getting the feeling that you think that this could be over for Barcelona. Then this could be the death sentence for them.
Yeah, it might be. I think they're going to win the Copa del Rey at least, and
the Copa del what?
Favorites in the league. Yeah, they might win. I think they were going to win Copa del Rey because they always win that.
Okay. Okay, all right. So let me just hit the super chat here. So from Josh Byrne, thank you much for the 499 super chat there. He says, "Where is Barcelona going to get the money for transfers? Drogo money. They had to get a loan to afford a side chick. They're gonna have to sell an arm and a leg. So that is a very good point. I don't think Barcelona have money. So because I think Jujimana is smoking crack because if they don't get a striker. The only reason why I'm giving them a chance is if they get a striker this month. But again, it's like, who are you going to get?
Yeah, but
if they don't get a striker this month, they're screwed. How are they not screwed?
They're no double H. This is where I don't agree with Josh Ban and you guys because I think the key is to get, because look, the one, they don't have the cash to get the proper striker. You have managers like Ten Hag who took this with his philosophy, even though it's like the Ajax team capitulated. His philosophy, he has a philosophy. He works with the players that are not. I mean, these Ajax players are not the best in the world. So you give him this Barcelona team, he can work with this. He can work with this. So I think getting rid of Valverde is the first thing that needs to be, it could be accomplished, and then have Ten Hag. He can work with the team Barcelona have. Like they still have a really good team. This team is still really good. And with Suarez, I think Vas say that it failed because of Suarez. I disagree. I think maybe Valverde is the reason this Barcelona is underperforming. They get rid of Valverde, 90% of their problem is out. They solved 90% of their problem.
Jujuma, wait, I got a question for you. You telling me Valverde is the main problem? Now,
yes,
okay,
clearly.
Let's say Valverde is out now.
So the players aren't to blame. The players
it starts from the top. First, we clean out Valverde, and then
let me ask you
bring
this.
a proper
You're
man.
telling me Valverde is the problem now.
Yes, he is.
Let's take Valverde out of the team now, and the same problem still occur. Are you gonna sleep in Valverde?
It won't be there. It won't be there. I doubt they'll be there.
For me, it's mentality.
No, it's not. Yeah, and who do you blame? It's Valverde.
Let me just hear. So you're telling me that even if, let's say, they bring in a Ten Hag or not Koeman,
yes,
you really believe that Griezmann, Ansu Fati, some dude called Perez, Frankie De Jong can consistently win 10, 12 games in a row?
Yes, they can. And look, someone like Ten Hag who's worked with De Jong, I mean, perfect match. And Dembele, another youngster. Look, Ansu Fati, youngster. These guys can work with a manager that it'll change the mentality. Dembele, that has a huge impact. It has a huge impact if you change the environment. Has a huge impact because this Valverde era has been banter era for Barcelona, losing to nothing teams. Like they need to get rid. They just need a new somewhat new atmosphere in the system because it's get rid of Valverde. It'll solve a lot of problems.
But with Barcelona,
let me just get this super chat here. So Marvin Bokai, 499 super chat. Thank you, bro. Glad to see you back for good, Juju man. Had to deal with these bricks when you was gone.
Oh,
Juju man, you have your fans, man. You have your fans.
Thank you, Marvin.
And also, we need to talk about. Don't worry, we'll address Pep. We'll address Pep. So let's now address the dude who is wasting my time and needs to just retire and not retire from thing, but just leave this club. So surprise, Real Madrid were the champions in the Spanish Super Cup. So they didn't have the likes of Benzema. They didn't have the GOAT top three Zad in the team. And it was a pretty close game. Atletico had their chances. Real Madrid had their chances. I thought Valverde was definitely one of the best players on the pitch until he got sent off. But at the end of the day, it was the same old story. Atletico win. Whether it was through open play or penalties, they win. And it was a shakedown, 4-1. So before we even talk about Real Madrid, I want to talk about I want to talk about this dude called Simeone. Is it over? Should this guy just cut his losses and leave? Because as I said in my post match, he's taken Atletico as far as he can. They can't go in anymore. It's over. It's done. It's time for someone new to come in and take Atletico in an aggressive, fast direction. And I think the moment that Godin and Griezmann left should have been an indication of this is the end of an era. This should be the time to bring in a very different coach, a more attacking coach, and then build from there. So, Abdullahi, should Simeone quit his Atletico, or does he have some stuff to offer?
I think the time is up for Simeone to leave. I think it's time because, man, it's like I don't know what's going on with that team. You have a talented players in that team, players who can win you stuff in that team. Why is he playing defensive football? He can play. There's an attacking team in that team, Joan Felix, Alvaro Morata. There are good players in that team who can win you matches. Why is he keeping on playing the same tactics each and every day? It doesn't work. I think they need a new manager. They need a real new manager, like new philosophy, new system, New everything. Everything needs to be new in that team because they cannot be. They've been shocking in Champions League for like 2 times in a row now. Now this is another final again. They shock again. There's a huge problem. Simeone need to fix, man. It's a huge problem Simeone need to face. Either he quit or they sack him. The same problem Valverde is facing. Simeone needs to face the same problem too. Either he go like or they sack him because you can't be having one manager every day, the same tactics every day. They have to have a new dimension in that team. Then those players they have, those players, Joan Felix, Morata, all those kind of players, they are attacking team. You can't be playing defensive team every time. I understand you will defend, understood. But play attacking football, attract fans.
Okay. So you're saying that they should hire a new coach. That's someone that is much more attacking.
Exactly. They need someone like this discipline. Someone like Massimiliano Allegri.
Okay. Even now, let's not after. Okay. Wait. Let me hit the super chat. So, from Name, thank you for the super chat. It says Valverde is the one picking PK. Well, in Valverde's defense, there is player power in that club, and also in his defense as well. As people have said, I don't think they have money. They don't have cash. But I will say that him having Umtiti on the bench, a World Cup winning defender, is a bit iffy. But at the end of the day, I just think PK, if he did, PK should do the right thing and actually excuse himself from being picked and just either retire or just go play for Catalonia. So Ahmed, should Simeone quit?
But I think this is being blown out of proportion about Diego Simeone. Firstly, let's remember he's the best manager in Atletico Madrid's history. Right, that's the first
history. We're talking about present and the future.
Yes.
Don't talk about what happened 4 years ago.
I will talk about present now. Let's talk about present. He's third in La Liga, 5 points off top. How for a team with so many new players this season and so many differences from the squad last year, that's not that bad. Third and 5 points off top. And they have the best defensive record in La Liga, joint best defensive record. That's firstly. Secondly, if he was to leave, it would make absolutely no sense to leave mid-season. That would be a dumb move. He would wait till the end of the season.
No, of course no. You don't want him to leave now. I'm talking about at the end of the season, start afresh with someone new for next season.
We'll have to see how this season pans out. It's too early to judge.
Let me ask you this then. If Atletico end the season, which is most likely end the season trophyless, should Atletico still keep Simeone?
That would still depend. You can't just say trophyless like that. If they mount a Liga race, right, and they bring it close for this season, I think that's a good level. And not to mention also the fact that by the end of the season, right, they're 5 points off. That's not a big difference. I don't see what's the hype and the big deal about wanting to get rid of him. Like, what has he done? He's in the round of 16 for Champions League. He's in a La Liga title race. 5 points isn't that far off. He's still in the Copa del Rey, obviously. What has he done wrong? Where have Atletico failed?
No, judgment. I'll get you.
He has done a lot longer.
Wait, chill. Hazem, should Simeone leave?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Atletico. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes, we can hear you. Talk, speak. Hazem.
Yeah, so for me, Simeone to blame. I think you have to look at the team. When you look at the coach's position, you have to look at the team and say, are they performing? Do the ability to be above Barcelona? And for me, Atletico Madrid have a better squad than Real Madrid squad than Barcelona. They're third in the table, so they're performing to their abilities. And I don't think it's Simeone's fault that this squad isn't better than the and that when they're facing Barcelona, they're facing Real Madrid, they're losing. And actually, they beat Barcelona last week, so you have to give him credit for that as well. But when you look at the team, he's sitting third, as Ahmed said, he's sitting third. I don't know what you're expecting from Simeone. If you want Simeone to take this team to the next level, which he already did to the next level, people weren't talking about Atletico Madrid before Simeone. But if you want him to, you need to top and you need to get him the players that make the team better than Real Madrid and Barca signings that they're making. I understand you're getting some good players in Herrera. You have Thomas. You have some, but overall, as a squad without Felix, it's still Barcelona when they have stars like
Oh, no, no,
Messi,
but then
Suarez now
Hazem,
injured,
I will push back by
but
saying that there are teams like whether you want to say a Getafe, a Sevilla, or so forth, who have managed to beat either a Real Madrid or a Barcelona. So, don't you think a manager with a very different philosophy, bringing in a whole bunch of players, will be able to maybe get the best out of an Atletico?
yeah, it's a different philosophy. But if Atletico Madrid were playing attacking football, would they be currently above Barcelona and Real Madrid? I don't think so.
It's hard to say. It's
That's the
hard to say.
reason.
I mean, no. But no, okay. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. This season, if they had a really good attacking manager, there is a strong chance that they would close the gap because Barcelona and Real Madrid have not been very good this season. They've not been very good this season. So obviously, let's say in previous seasons when Barcelona had Xavi and Iniesta, then no way because they were far too good. Look at the man against that Barcelona have been drawing, have been losing, and been drawing, and been losing. So if Atletico were really properly consistent and had championship form, maybe they would actually either be top or just a few points off of Barcelona and Real Madrid. So that's my thing. But okay, so look, let's bring in Vas. So Vas, your thoughts on this? Should Simeone call it quits? Just briefly, we're about to get to it. So briefly, should Simeone call it quits?
Again, like Ahmed is again spot on because the thing is that like this team is in transition. The only bad decision Simeone made was spending all the Griezmann money on a prospect. That was really the only terrible decision you made.
Wait. All Griezmann money on who?
On a
Joao
prospect.
Felix.
Yeah, on a prospect.
Jeff. You mean that's flop? That's international flop. Okay.
Yeah,
No, you mean that global flop. So, yeah.
Yeah, because like to spend 120 million on Felix, that was the only really bad decision. But all the other signings that Atletico made are doing well. And you have to remember, it's a transition season. They sold a lot of players, and they also bought a lot of new players. So whichever manager comes in, in a transition period is going to take some time, and he's done really good. And you're seeing like, and if they let's say he left, okay, last summer and they signed an attacking manager, that doesn't guarantee they'd be top because look at Juventus, they sold a defensive coach and they got an attacking coach, but are they top of Serie A? No. So like, I mean, it really like depends. You don't know. I'd still give him another season because he did beat Barcelona, which is a big deal. Like, and he lost very narrowly to Madrid. And I think this team is really missing Diego Costa. Because I don't think Morata.
Costa's been trashed, bro. He's been trashed.
And Koke was injured for the game today.
No.
Not
Yeah,
to mention.
what I'm trying to say is they need like a better main striker, dude. And if they get Cavani in the summer, dude, we'll see what happens. So like, I'll give him another season for sure.
Okay. Juju man.
Oh yes. But by the way,
Be real, man. Be real. Should Simeone leave, man? This guys are being too nice, man. Give me that real, man. You're here for that real.
Yeah, the Simeone fans, Cholo, I cannot pronounce his name, but with Simeone, I think the guy is a mid-table coach at best. He's. I watched the.
Man, I said real. I didn't say to be that's real. I mean,
yeah. Look. I mean, have you seen how much this guy earns and is what he provides? I don't think he's what he provides. And look, I watched that Madrid. I watched half of that Madrid game. The second half, it was brutal. It was painful to watch because I understand that Atletico don't have the best players, but they're playing the way they play. It's slow build up. There's too predictable. Every time they get the ball, they just put it to either Trippier or the other side, and they try and cross and they just. I mean, they lack creativity. The team lacks creativity, and what's shocking is this guy has like. That's why I'm not going to criticize Joao Felix, even though I think he's. I don't know. I won't say
no. It's a very good point. And this, I think, again, I said it in my video, and I'm sure you'll go here.
Yeah.
Joao Felix has been a flop, but I think somebody even mentioned this it may have been Abdul or someone.
Yeah.
He's playing in the wrong system. You can tell that this guy is talented.
Yeah.
If he was in an attacking team, he would be money. But he's in a defensive team, and it is really just an awful bad fit. And there's very little that young kid can do.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the same with Thomas Lemar. That's why I was like, I'm
No,
going to.
Thomas Lemar in
No, I'm not giving up on that guy. I think he's good. He's just
I'm
the
not
wrong
giving up.
system. Look. That's why I'm not criticizing this player.
So do you think that? So you believe Simeone should move on from
Yeah,
Atletico?
he should have been sacked like 2 years ago. I don't know why. Look, it's a business. Like we cannot be emotional about this stuff. Thank you for what you have done. Like we can't take this stuff personally. Like he's just not producing. He's no. We need to. Atleti needs to move to the next step. Like they spent so much cash. Like in the last 2 years, nothing to show for it. I'm sorry, using Madrid and Barcelona as an excuse. Madrid haven't been in transition. Barcelona, look at the two have their problems. So Simeone should be out.
So before I come over to Ray, let me just see the super chat. Thank you, Primera Marmot, for the super chat, bro. He says Atletico should go for Poch. No, they shouldn't, because Poch is too similar to Simeone. Atletico have to go in a radically different direction, so they should go for a much more attacking coach. So, Red, Simeone, should he call it quits, or are we being too harsh on Simeone?
No, he should call it quits. He's taking them as far as they could go. Like he's already a legend in Atletico Madrid. The only reason why they won't sack him is because he's very profitable. Like people were talking about, like he lost. People were talking about like, oh, the Griezmann money was spent on João Felix. I don't think so, because let's not forget they sold Lucas Hernandez for 70 mil. They sold Rodri for like 60 mil. They sold Griezmann for 120 mil. Like he's flipping players. Like he's constantly especially players that play under his system. They tend to be effective, and he wants to. And that's why the club won't sack him, because 1, he's profitable. 2, he's consistently making them a top 4 team. 3, he is winning trophies. He did win the Super Cup last year. He won the Europa League before that. He won the league title, which is insane, in 2014. So they're not going to sack him, but like, I mean, Atletico are always going to be that.
Okay. So you believe that Atletico just care about just being competitive, being in the green, and don't actually want to realistically move forward?
I don't think they won't even. The thing is, they're all cowards. Like just like Simeone is a coward. Like you saw today. Like it's 0-0. Actually, he's bringing on defenders. He's not even trying to win the game. He's just trying to.
He did bring on Vitolo. I mean, that was the first sub.
No. My issue is obviously we'll get to Real Madrid. I don't want to take anything away from Real, but my thing is that, bro, I've seen this so many times where like, I understand you know how to defend and everything, but my God, man, do you not have any attacking plan? Do you not want to throw any guys forward? It's the same bloody thing we've been doing for the last 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah, a lot of the players that made this thing effective are gone, but you're still enforcing this archaic system on players that just don't know how to do it as well as as the other dudes did who you sacked. So how the owners aren't looking at this and saying, bro, as Julian said, thank you for your services. Thank you very much, but we need to move forward.
I have a question for Red.
Sorry, Red, finish the point. I'm sorry.
If I could. So the owners have the same mentality as Diego Simeone, where they're just happy with being an A-tier club. They don't want to go make that risky step of going S-tier, of getting a manager that's more attacking, or even putting more pressure on Simeone to really use the tools that they're giving him. Because let's not act like Thomas Lemar isn't a top prospect. Arsenal wanted him for 70 mil 2 years ago, and he refused them so he can go for Atleti. They got João Felix. They have talent. Alvaro Morata is a decent striker. He can actually get them 20 goals a season in La Liga. They could play to their strengths. They choose not to. They have Thomas Partey. They have Saul. They have elite talent. Let's not act like this is a small club that doesn't spend money. No. They just won't make that risk. And by the way, the past 2 seasons, Madrid were out of the title race. Not even close. Barely in the top 4 race.
No. But I think
have been winning the league. But here's the thing: Barcelona have been winning the league with like 86 points. You want to tell me that Atleti can't get 87 points? And they won in transition. They had a peak team. They had Godin, Griezmann. They had peak talent, but they never make that risk. They're cowards. They always try to, and they don't even lose a lot of games. We only lost 2 games this season. The thing is, they just draw a lot, because every time when it's
I'm not about drawing games. I remember people have to understand that a draw is only 1 more points than a loss, and that it is probably mathematically, logically better just to try and go for the win and then get that 3 points. Maybe you get the 0 points, than just go draw. Because
again,
those 3 points, always counts more. So actually, but look, we have to move on to our next team. Let me just hit this. So Gatlock, thank you for the 2 points super chat. Can a club have a golden generation like Real itches? It's going to be hard. Liverpool might, but can Liverpool win 3 Champions Leagues in a row? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a very long time until a team do what our Real Madrid team did, which is win 3 seasons in a row. But speaking of Real Madrid, great segue. So your boy Zizou, he wins another trophy, man. And again, it was always going to happen. But look, man, I was impressed. I was very impressed with Modric, very impressed with Valverde. I was impressed with even Mendy. Jovic needs to lose some weight. I'm not like a guy's criticizing guys, but he's looking pretty heavy. That's what I'm saying. He's looking pretty damn heavy. So let me come to Abdullahi with this. So the question here is that with this trophy win, do you think that Real Madrid are in a good stage and good position to win La Liga with Barca's struggles, or should they try and focus on La Liga and the Champions League? What do you think that they can realistically win this season?
I think I can see them winning the La Liga rather than winning the Champions League, because Barcelona could still flop in La Liga. They could lose some games. That they're still gonna play in Santiago Bernabeu. They haven't played Bernabeu yet, so they're still gonna lose in Bernabeu. They're still gonna play those Getafe, Celta Figo, those kind of matches. Barcelona will lose. Same with Real Madrid. Real Madrid may drop some points and may lose too, but Barcelona will lose more than Real Madrid. So I think they should focus more on La Liga than the Champions League. The Champions League should give their best. If they can go far, fine. If they can't go far, focus more on La Liga. Win the La Liga, because this is a transitional.
So you think their focus should be on La Liga?
Yeah, because this is a transitional period for them. So if they can win La Liga, it's give them more time to be like, okay, next season now, we have the players we want now. We can challenge all fronts.
Okay.
So
okay.
Right now, they need to focus on La Liga.
Okay. Ahmed, Real Madrid, do you think they are best prepped for a La Liga? Should they go for the Champions League, or should they try and realistically go for both? What do you think is a smart play for them after the Super Cup win?
I mean, why can't they fight for both? I mean, the squad is there. When everyone comes back from injury, the squad is definitely there.
Is the squad really there? Because for me, Vinicius is a brick. Rodrigo is still a guy on the come up. Bale isn't really all there. Do they actually have the squad?
Well, I think that enough to mount a Liga challenge and a Champions League challenge. Yeah, there is. I mean, Bale, Asensio should be coming back from injury. Benzema's coming back from injury. Hazard's coming back from injury. In the midfield, you have Modric, Isco, Cruz, Casemiro, Valverde, Rodriguez. That's enough for a full squad rotation, if need be. Defense, you have Mendy or Marcelo. You have Carvajal or Nacho. You have Varane, Ramos, or Militao. Goalkeeper, you have Courtois, Areola. Benzema is probably the only player that doesn't have a like-for-like backup, as Jovic hasn't really been that good this season. But I think he'll come through. He has been trash, but Benzema, I think that's enough to mount a challenge for both. I mean, why not go for both? If you put all your eggs in one basket, one or two bad results.
Do you feel that with the Suarez injury, this is now Real Madrid's La Liga title, or we shouldn't rule out Barca still being money in La Liga?
We can't rule out Barcelona having a strong Liga campaign as long as they have Messi. But with the way things are, even with Suarez, this should be Real Madrid's La Liga to win. This is Zidane's return. Ernie's flopping. We have peak Benzema right now. We bossed them at the Camp Nou. We bossed Atletico at home. We have all these great performances. And not to mention, we've already played more of the tougher fixtures away from home than Barcelona have. We've played all the big teams away from home, with the exception of Sociedad. That's the only team we haven't played at home.
For that game against Man City, you want your boys to really fully try and go all. Because for me, in my thing is that is Man City's trophy that they have to focus on. I think that Real Madrid they're a Champions League team 100%, but I believe that La Liga is very important to win, especially in the light of what has happened and how they've not won it. But you believe that they should have the same focus for both the league and the Champions League?
Yeah, I think they should. And I think especially when it comes closer to that round of 16 tie, in February, we can iron out more specifics, depending on how many points the Liga race is and how everything's going. We can see it with a more clearer perspective. But why not go for both? I mean, just sideline the Copa del Rey.
But I do believe that Real Madrid would be smart in getting another striker. That's just me, because I think Mariano and Jovic just ain't it. And also remember, I did warn people about Jovic that he wasn't going to be very good. Red, I didn't say this about Jovic, but I'll get to you, Red. Don't worry, I'll get to you. Vas, Real Madrid, do you think that they are destined to take on this La Liga title?
The 100, they might not win the Liga, but 100% we should focus on the league. Because, and the thing about Champions League is definitely, Madrid have the squad to win it, dude. The only two teams I think that you can argue have a better team, or, better than Madrid, is Man City and Liverpool. That's it, dude. Don't talk to me about PSG, because we should have beaten PSG 4-2 in that group stage game. They got completely outplayed, and so did your boy Verratti. But, yeah, definitely the league is the biggest priority, because the league, I mean, even Madrid should just forego the Copa del Rey, in my opinion, since, we already have the Super Cup, but the league is the main thing, because I think being level on points with Hazard missing practically the whole season, and the fact that all these players are just coming back, I think Madrid's being prolific in front of goal, I think is going to be inevitable. And I think with these weapons and Suarez's injury, I think Madrid have the advantage in the league. And if Madrid focus on the league, which they haven't been doing for the past 2 seasons, I think Madrid should be able to close this title out.
Okay. Jujuman.
Yeah, yes, I'll echo what Vas said. I'll say La Liga is priority, because if you think about it.
Wait. La Liga over Champions League?
Yes, for Madrid. That's priority number one. Because if you think about it, the last time these guys won La Liga is it's 2017, yes. And if they don't win it this year, I mean, 2021, you look that's looking 4 years. Barcelona win.
It's the Champions League, bro.
But look, the Champions League, you cannot rely on Champions League. There's a lot of luck involved with Champions League. There's a lot of luck involved in Champions League. You can have everything aligned, but one mistake might cost you everything. So you cannot depend. If they go find the Champions League, that's good. But they shouldn't. If they're in a situation where City were last year, where they had to choose either the Premier League or the Champions League, Madrid should go for the league, because what's it called? You cannot have because this league poor record in the league will come to overshadow what they did in the Champions League. Because if you think about it, they won in 2012, 2017. I mean, if they don't win it now, I mean, you're looking 2021, 3 league titles in almost over a decade. I mean, that's really bad for a club with the stature of Madrid. So league is a priority. And with Barcelona, I think the league is not over yet, because it's all dependent on if they keep Valverde. If they keep Valverde, I mean, it's suicide. It's suicide.
So you feel that Real Madrid should put their focus on La Liga because they haven't won it enough in the past decade?
Yes, and it's becoming a concern now, because these guys are not winning trophies in Spain. So this is a big concern.
Okay. Red.
Yeah. So it's about Madrid. About what should we prioritize?
No, yeah. So basically, because of 2 things. So first of all, do you think that they are in the best position to win the La Liga? And if you are, let's say, the team you were Zidane, should more of the focus be on La Liga, the Champions League, or they should equally focus on winning both?
But equally focus on winning both, and Zidane has proven to do so. He in 2015-16, in his first Champions League win, he only lost La Liga by 1 point, even after taking over a team that was in deficit. In 16-17, he won it, but he won the double. Only 17-18 was a freak season where Zidane was underwhelming in the league. But historically speaking, the majority of Zidane's career, he was always dominant in the league. He was always he was really good in the league. I think we're in a good position to win La Liga because we went to the hardest grounds in La Liga, like away to the Mestalla, away to Celta Vigo, away to Real Sociedad. Oh no, I think we went away. I think we went to Real Sociedad. We went to all the tough grounds. Away
Nah,
to Sevilla.
Sociedad was home. Sevilla was away.
Oh, Sevilla was away. And so pretty much we're in a much. Barca hasn't went to any of those grounds yet. So I think in La Liga we're going to be pretty. It's going to be comfortable in the second half of the season. As for the Champions League, I always prioritize Champions League over La Liga, but like because that's the biggest one. Like the league is always great.
Look, we can't. I mean, like I get. See, for me, I understand where Jujuman is coming from in the fact that you want like for a team of Real Madrid stature to not have won the La Liga in so long. I think it's bad and looks bad on you. But at the end of the day, Real Madrid are the most successful club in the Champions League, and the Champions League is the money trophy. I've always said that anybody that puts your domestic trophy over the Champions League, you're psycho. So
no, and that's the thing is like nobody cares. Like everybody's gonna remember Real Madrid's Champions League wins, even if they didn't. This second, it's not gonna be remembered that Real Madrid only won 2 La Ligas. It's gonna be remembered that Real Madrid won 4 Champions Leagues. Like the league trophies, as long as you win them, it doesn't matter. Like same thing with look at Liverpool and Manchester United. Manchester United won the league title for like 13 times in 20 years. Liverpool right now will win one league title and they'll overshadow everything United did, and they'll go back to being the bigger club. That's it. Am I wrong? They have more Champions Leagues and they have more league titles. They have more Champions Leagues and more league titles. They'll override everything.
If Liverpool win this Premier League, they would have basically overdone everything that's figured.
They have double the Champions Leagues, HH. They have double the Champions Leagues. They'll have more league titles, and I think they will have more league titles, and they'll have what's called more overall trophies. So how are they not bigger? And their fan base currently is probably on par with United's right now. So
It's probably
like
bigger.
I said. Yeah, like the Champions League is the biggest. So like I understand the league titles. Like I do want a league title really bad. Don't get me wrong. I do agree with Juju that
if it came down to it, and you could only choose one, Champions League or La Liga,
easily Champions League. Think about it this way, Chichi. Think about it this way. If we had the game with Barcelona for the league on Saturday, and then on Wednesday we had to play Liverpool in the semi, I would rest our players against Barca to win, play that semi.
Ready? You're looking at 2 trophies in over 10 years. I mean, that is awful. That is really bad.
5 years.
Jujuman, are you telling me that a domestic title is more important than the Champions League?
I mean, in this case, in Madrid's case, I mean, they've won 3. Like, okay.
No. Forget how many they won and everything. Yeah. Just in a vacuum, which is the bigger trophy? Which trophy means more, the Champions League or your domestic league trophy?
A Champions League double H, but with Madrid though, I mean, the domestic. I mean, it seems like no one is concerned.
Because the point I'm trying to make is that if, let's say, Real Madrid fail to win La Liga this season, it's like, oh, damn man, this is a bad record. But they win the Champions League, then it's like, okay, who cares? You won the biggest trophy.
Sure, but
your legacy and your superiority in Europe.
But true, but stacking against other teams, like are Madrid really the favorites in this Champions League? How many teams?
No.
There's a lot of black involved.
But no. See now, Jujuman is now going to a very, very good point that I think you would have to admit. I've said this many times. Real Madrid are not equipped to win the Champions League. I get it's about luck. I get anything can happen. They are not equipped to win the Champions League. So I think that it would then be smarter for them to try and focus on La Liga because they don't have the team and the squad to win the Champions League. I feel that if Real come up against PSG or Liverpool, I don't think they'll beat them. I don't think they can beat either a PSG or a Liverpool. Even at full strength with that, I just don't think they can. So that I think they need another superstar attacking player, which was either a Neymar or an Mbappe. Let me just hit the super chat here. So from Yasir's side, it says, Zidane is by far a better manager than Pep. Fact. No, I wouldn't say he's a better manager. I would say he's a better man manager. Pep is a better philosophical merchant and tactician. But Zidane is a better man manager, than Pep. Because the thing is that I don't believe Zidane could go to a Man City and be as successful as Pep, or go to a Bayern and be as successful as he was. But what he's done for Real Madrid, look, as in 3 sales,
it can't be successful when he get the backings. It can't be successful. Zizou can be successful if he get the backings.
Oh,
Pep
oh,
Guardiola
so you
is-
think Zidane could be successful in Man
Pep
City?
Guardiola is a philosophy manager. He's not a tactician. Just a philosophy. Zinedine Zidane is a tactician manager. He's far better than Pep.
No. I
I'm saying
would
he's
I
far
would call
better than Pep.
Zidane a tactician.
Yeah,
I would call him
he's
a
a
man
tactician
manager, and
and a
he's
well
good
derived
at
man
coaching.
management manager than Pep. If Pep Guardiola goes to Man City, he will win them trophies.
Wait.
If he goes
Easy,
to
easy,
Bayern Munich, he will
Abdullah.
win them something.
Easy. Wait. Pep is easily better than. Look, I hate
No.
I mean,
No.
I
Pep
take
is
the
a
shots at
philosophy manager. He's not a
Pep, but
tactician.
Wait,
Just
one
a
at a
philosophy.
time. Okay,
Yeah.
Jujima, what are you saying?
Yes. Look, Abdullah, I think what's he called? Look, I insult Pep a lot, but I think he's way better than Zidane. Like, look,
How so?
because I mean, even though his football is, I think it's inefficient. People say it's patient and it's boring and it's more of a ball hog. But I think his playing style is his playing style is. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to hate that much, but it's good. And he's what he's accomplished over the last 10 years. Even though he's third parted on the irrelevant trophies, he's just he improved. He improved a lot. No, improved. I mean,
Oh, no.
No.
he's better
Jujima,
tactically. He's way better than Zidane.
Jujima, let me ask you now.
Wait. Let me hear the
He's
super
great
chat. Let me hear the super chats. So from Young One, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says that guy who said red Liverpool would be bigger than Man U because they would have more ancient league titles is inhaling glue. So Red, are you inhaling glue? Okay, I think Red is not. But for me, that's a difficult one. See, for me, I would disagree because I just think that for United, they've won more league titles recently. So I think it would be too much of a leap to say, oh, if they win this league title now this season, they'll be bigger. I just think that's just going to be too harsh. From Gatlock, thank you for the super chat, Gat. Oh, hey. Man, why are people hating on this guy? How good is Verratti really? 6-1, 3-1 Man United, Italy World Cup 2018. Gatlock, and for the live chat and for Twitter and everyone out there, in terms of ability, forget about wins or what his team has done or where he plays. In terms of raw ability, Verratti has been the best, most naturally gifted central midfielder in the world for the past 4 years. That's just a fact. In terms of his tackling, his passing, his vision, creativity, ball control, and everything, dribbling, he's been the best central midfielder in the world for the past 4 or 5 years. That's just a fact. I'm sorry, you just have to deal with that.
Wait, can I add on Verratti? Like the one thing though, like because today you guys are going today, like
Juju man, you're a PSG supporter, so you should be supporting Verratti, man. Don't lie, man. Don't lie.
Oh no! Look! With today, like I think Tuchel's formation, he plays with the four. Like it's essentially four strikers, two midfielders. They did the same against Madrid. I think he should never try that formation. And Verratti, because Marquinhos needs to play CDM. Verratti, I think defensively, like I mean, is like covering the back four. That might be one weakness. That might be one of his weakness. But what's it called? So I think Tuchel, the formation,
the formation is not benefiting Verratti.
I think the playing Di Maria, Neymar, Mbappe, and Icardi at the same time should do that only against bottom sides. Any big team, if he does that, as we saw against Madrid, that's like you can't play Idrissa and Verratti as the two alone midfielders. That is a disaster because defensively, like Madrid, like it's terrible for PSG. So I think that's the problem, and why people are criticizing Verratti is I think is more to do with the formation.
No. But Judgment, all I say to people is like, forget about the wins and everything. In terms of every time I see Verratti play, I'm like, no, this is the best midfielder in the world. Just in terms of what he does, like people are saying KDB in the live chats. KDB is a system merchant. You can put Verratti in any system, in any team, and he'll be amazing because every time he has the ball, he's just amazing. KDB is reliance and breastfeeds upon who the coach is and who the tactic is. He cannot exist outside of a perfectly working system. 100%. Hence why Zad carried him in that World Cup semi. So that's just me.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, well, go for it.
So in your opinion, is Robinho better than Ribery and Robin?
Is who?
Robinho, the Brazilian guy who played for Real Madrid and Man City. Is he better than Ribery?
Robinho never really realized his talent, so no, Ribery is better.
No, but it's the same thing, isn't it? Because like Verratti, you can say he's like more talented, right? He's more talented, just like Robinho is.
Oh no,
Technically more
But
talented.
Verratti has shown more of his talents more than Robinho did. Robinho showed hints, but he never really had like a run of games in which he was really showing his true talents. Verratti has. Look, guys. I know you don't like it and everything, and yes, he loves playing Uber Eats. But all I'm saying is that every time you watch Verratti play, he's simply better than all of you guys you throw at me. Whether it's Modric, whether it's flipping KDB, whether it's Pogba, he's better than all of these dudes. That's just facts.
And with Kevin De Bruyne, he owes us a performance against Madrid because I don't know if he has any big European night performance. So
he doesn't.
He wants
Because
everybody.
biggest thing.
What's so funny? People are tagging for, oh my gosh, Verratti is, KDB is the big man. Name me one major game KDB balled at.
Dude, Man City 4-3 Tottenham.
Yeah, easy. Premier League is domestic source. That's
No, that was in
domestic.
Europe. It was in
Name
Champions
me a World Cup semi, a World Cup final, a European Cup final. Zad balled in the European Cup final. So he's good. He's good. Name me a European Cup final that he's balled in. But you want me to call him the best midfielder in the world? Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. That's what I'm saying. I just pray that PSG get it done. So because all Verratti needs to do is win a CL for PSG, then you guys can basically shut the hell up with all this crap. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're not going to win a seal.
No, look, we'll see. Let me hit the super chat here. So from Yasser Saida says Zidane won 3 CLs, took a sabbatical, is currently rebuilding Real Madrid and is about to win La Liga. Far better than Pep. You see, the question here was management. And the thing about it is we don't know how good of a manager Zidane is unless he can go to another team and ball out. That's the thing. So, but people will say, oh, what about Alex Ferguson? He never went to many other clubs, but Ferguson was successful over like 20 years. For 20 years, there was rarely a season in which he didn't win a major trophy. So that is different. So, like, if Zidane can say, okay, 20 years for Real Madrid can consider winning a trophy, then boom, what up? So, but look, man, I have begun to appreciate more and more Zidane as a manager as we go on, man. So
yeah, same, because I saw today Madrid, and I mean he gets to work with Rodrigo has to develop because I saw him miss
Rodrigo is he's average.
I think with this game, like if Pep is as good as we all say, this should be an easy. I mean, he's a favorite going into the game against Madrid because he has more to work with, and Zidane doesn't have. Like, I think Zidane is doing a good job, and he has less to work with. So, but with the game against City.
Okay. So
let me tell you this. And like I get what Jujuman is saying, but for me, I still say it. Pep Guardiola is a philosophy coach. He's not a tactician for me. And I'm saying it now. I will not be surprised if Madrid beat Man City, hands down. Not even saying
Man City are beating Real Madrid because they have to. If Man City lose to Real Madrid, Pep should retire. There's no way in hell Pep is going to get knocked out in the round of 16. I double dare Pep to get knocked out in the round of 16.
I'm double daring Pep too. I'm double daring him to lose against Madrid. I'm double daring him. I'm even triple daring him to lose against Real Madrid because we all call him the best manager in the world. Now, face Zidane and lose. Then there's a conversation to be speaking to all Man City fans.
No. Jujuman is the one that says Pep is the best manager in the world, man. No, Jujuman has been saying it's the best in the world, man, isn't it?
Pep is a philosophy coach. He's not a tactician. That's what we need to understand.
Okay, look. Let's move on. So let's look at this right now. Serie A. I just want to just to remind people about stuff. So currently, Juventus won 2-1 against Roma. The GOAT scored a penalty. Congrats. He has a samurai haircut. And Inter Milan drew 1-1 against Atalanta. So in the Serie A title race, it is Juventus with 48 points, Inter Milan with 46 points with 19 games played. I keep saying this, and I want people to give me a proper answer here, and people don't want to give me an answer. I believe Juve will still win it this season. And the crazy thing is, Juventus under Sarri, they're still not fully functioning. They're still not fully functioning. They're still finding their way. So a team that is still finding their way are still top of the flipping table. And I think that it's already embarrassing that very, very, very embarrassing for the Serie A that one team has won your league title 8 times in a row. That is absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely, utterly Gatlock, that's look. He called it the Pasta League. Gatlock, bro. Man, this guy, man. So let me come over to Juju, man. Do you believe that the title race is over, that Inter Milan, as good as they are, it is inevitable that Juventus will win the Serie A title? And if they do win the Serie A title 9 times in a row, should they just fold this league?
Yes. Until it's the same I had with the Bundesliga. Until the Juve lose, I'm not giving anyone a chance, because everyone's usually like with this Inter Milan team. They have the strike partnership.
They're good, man. Look how Martinez they're good. Just that.
Yeah.
How can't you beat Atalanta? You're 1-0 up. How?
The defense, it's an improvement from last season. It was disaster, Inter Milan defense, but they're still lacking in defense, and they need additional players. Look, if Sanchez maybe comes back, maybe they can outscore other players, but I don't know if Sanchez will still be.
But do you believe that Inter Milan can do it, though? That's the thing. Do you believe in Inter?
No, because Juventus are not going to lose easily. That's the problem. Like even I said it at the beginning of the season, I don't think Inter will do it. It's going to Juventus again, because they're the team that is. It's more about, they're more consistent than Inter Milan. Inter Milan might drop a few points here and there, but Juventus, the more consistency was what is keeping them on top.
So you say Juve will win. So Juventus now win it 9 times in a row. What does that mean exactly?
I mean, it doesn't look good for Serie A. I mean,
wait, no, man. Okay. Let me say it again, because maybe you didn't hear me.
Yeah.
So Juventus win it 9 times in a row consecutively. What the hell does that mean?
I think it should mean Serie A needs to, like, it's just terrible for the league, because it's like, I mean, is there a point even of watching the league anymore? I mean, the same teams win, and with Juventus, I mean, it's if it's a close race, then I mean, I guess it's I'm speechless. I don't know what because what's it called? Yeah, but it's like,
all right, okay. No, so
looks bad.
Wait, before I go to Vas, you're being attacked because you said that Cristiano is done and is useless, but he scored a hat trick against Sampdoria. So that's what you say was, and he scored a penalty today. So what's your response to insulting the GOAT, Juju man?
Oh, okay. First of all, penalty. Not surprised there. It's a same thing, different year. Another penalty, but with the hat trick against, what's the team again?
Cagliari.
Was it Cagliari? Yeah, but I had that the first goal. Look, I had the first goal was a defensive error. The other one was a penalty, and I mean, good job for him. The one thing I'll say though is, people, I saw these statistics going around that the first player to score a hat trick in the top 5. In all the top 5 leagues in Europe. I mean, what does that mean? That's another irrelevant statistics, because I'm looking at the charts. Where is he? Is he among the top players in European scoring charts? No. So it doesn't mean anything. But I'll give him credit. I don't want his followers to attack me.
Okay. Listen, before I go to Vas, I'm just saying, if Juventus win the title this season and it's 9 times in a row, or if it's 10 times in a row, I think I will write to FIFA and UEFA for it to be called Serie L. Instead of Serie A, call it Serie L. Vas, is the Serie A title race over, or do you still believe in Inter Milan?
No, look, dude. See, Juventus. Here's the thing. I actually don't think Juventus are much better than they were last season, but that's not going to matter because, yes, dude. I told you in the summer itself, August itself, we had this hangout. And the debate was between Napoli Inter and Juve, like what sort of title race is going to be 2-horse, 3-horse, whatever. I told you it's going to be a 1-horse title race, dude. Juventus is going to win easily. And I told you also, dude, this Inter Milan is just hype. It's just hype, dude. They don't have a good squad. Dude, like people are trying to hype up like Alexis Sanchez or something. Like people that actually care about this guy in 2020. I mean, like, dude, like, has he even played?
Shut up.
Dude, I mean, like, seriously, dude, like, the real test for Inter was the Champions League, dude. That was the metric that, the group stage, like, when they played Dortmund and Barca, like, we can gauge how good they are. And they flopped in both. I mean, they lost at home to Barca and they lost at home to Juventus in the league. So, yeah, Juve all the way. Juve, I think we'll seal it after they beat Inter in the return game in Serie A.
Yes. Okay, wait, before I go to Abdullahi, from Yasir Saeed, transfer ban to Juve, only solution. No. Yasir, no. If that's been, wait, so what, we're not doing handicaps now? No. Roma, Inter, Napoli, Fiorentina, Atalanta, grow some balls. Grow some brass balls and try and do something. Because I will repeat again. Do you know how useless you have to be to allow a team to win your league title 8 times in a row? Do you know how embarrassing that is? Do you know how disgraceful that is? Do you know how pathetic that is? That's stupid. It's stupid. It's like I'm the only one that cares. I'm like, a team has won it 8 times in a row and they're going for 9 in a row. They could do a decade. I just need it for the narrative. I need to look on Wikipedia and just see Juve's name 10 times in a row on Wikipedia. I just need to print out that sheet. I need that. I need that. Abdullahi, is it over? Serie A title race.
No, HH is not over. Just 2 points behind 46. Inter Milan is 46 and Juventus is 48. So it's not over the HH. It's not over. I'm looking at Sarri's team with the Juventus. I'm still not convinced yet. I keep saying it. I'm not convinced yet about Manchester as a Juventus manager. Yeah, I would say Conte has a fault as a manager of Inter Milan. Yeah, because some of him decision making and everything. But this man is making a move. He's getting Eriksen in, HH, Olivier Giroud in. They're getting good.
Wait. You said Olivier Giroud. What's that supposed to
mean? It's a backup to Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. When they are not playing or when they are tired, someone could come in as a backup and score goals for them. They need the reinforcement, a backup, someone that can come in and if they're 75 minutes, 80 minutes, if they're tired, someone that can come in and give a threat to other defenders. You have Eriksen, a creative player. Inter Milan like creativity in that team. If Eriksen come into that team and create
if these players come in, they will be able to do a job and be successful and actually help them.
They will stop Juventus from winning that Scudetto because they need the creativity in that team. You have Eriksen, you have Giroud as a backup striker for those two strikers, those informed strikers in the league. They will dethrone Juventus out of the league. They will easily dethrone Juventus because now you have a backup, someone who can score you goals. You have Eriksen, someone who can create for you. Then Conte has no problem than to feed them together and play. Then we'll see them because I know Juventus will still draw points. They will draw points. Absolutely, they will. I'm sure about that. They will draw points.
Okay.
I'm sure. So the title is not over yet.
Okay. Mr. Bidiko, is the Serie A title race over?
Yeah, before I give my opinion, Hazem said that he wants to say something about the Serie A title race too. So.
Oh no, okay. I mean, yeah, because your mic has been iffy. So I'm gonna bring you in, Hazem. But if your mic is not popping off, man, I've got to take you off, man. So, but Bidiko, talk.
Yeah, I think to be honest, it's definitely over. Serie A, for me, don't get me wrong, it's a good physical league. They have good defenses and so forth. But I never saw Serie A to be, especially this league this season, I think it's just massively disappointed me. I had massive hopes for AC Milan. They totally failed. I had massive hopes for Inter to maybe challenge for the Serie A, but I don't think it's going to happen. I can only see Juventus winning this Serie A, to be honest, because
So basically, if Juve win it 9 times in a row, what should be done with the Serie A?
That's a really good question. I think, this is the funny thing. I think that they need to literally, and I'll be honest here, they probably need to do a super league if that's the case. Because we can't have one team winning every
Ten-
single time in
10
one
teams.
league.
Yeah, yeah.
You get what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like
it's an idea.
then yeah, then we're just gonna have to have a super league because it would just be insane. Like every one team league would just have to be in the super league. I don't need Premier League to be in it. Team league that wins the league to be in it. So yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. So before I come over to Hazem, so Gatlock, thanks for the super chat. Says the only relevant Alexis in 2020 is Google Play Alexa. That Gatlock, that's very harsh, man. That's very harsh. That's very harsh. I mean, you need to be respectful to a two-time Copa America winner, but he is under review. So Hazem, do you believe Inter can do something, or do you believe it's destined that Juve wins this Serie A?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can I hear you?
Yeah, so yeah, since the beginning of the season, I've been saying that Juve is winning 9, but not 10, and that's because Inter, they're literally, yes, last year they were still a fourth place team, just came into Champions League spot. So and people expecting them to immediately become a title winner this year. That's just unrealistic. Conte is doing an amazing job for Inter with the squad that they have. And the reason they can't win the title this season is they need time to adapt to Conte's mentality, and they need a couple of transfer windows in order to actually have a squad that can compete with Juve. They don't have a very deep squad right now. They need to make their squad deeper, and that's what they're planning on doing, right? In this transfer window, they're going to get most probably Vidal and Eriksson, which is going to be good for their midfield.
And also, they're getting backup striker for Giroud, someone that can.
So you're saying that Inter are going to be stronger next season, not this season?
Yeah, so this season they're going to put up a good challenge to Juve. It's not going to be an easy challenge. It's not going to be an easy title for Juventus. But next season, I don't think Juve can do anything to stop Inter. Like, literally, if Inter has a squad even close to the level of Juventus squad with Conte, there's no chance that Juve can come close to. I think basically next season, I think Inter will completely sweep the league, like by maybe over 20 points.
Okay. So, but Hazem. So even if, let's say, Inter win its next season, but Juve winning it 9 times in a row, isn't that bad?
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the league. It shows the struggles that Serie A has been going through over the past 10 years, but it also shows you have to give some credit to Juventus, and it shows how good they are in really keeping those other teams off. Even when Napoli challenged them, they maintained their composure. So it's really good, but it's not like people are acting as if it's the end of the world. Oh, you should close the league now. Like it's a bad thing. It's embarrassing, but you move on. You move on from that, and gradually the league is trying to get better. It's getting better each year. This year, finally, there's a proper challenger. Lazio is also only 5 points behind Juventus, and they beat Juventus twice this season, 3-1. So they're coming up.
Okay.
So yeah, I think this.
Oh, whoa! Wow! Easy. All right, let me hit the super chats here, man. So from Yasir, from Yasir Saeed, a treble or double invincible season for Liverpool. I mean, also we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But just answering your question there, they won't win the treble. I really believe they could win the double. So I think a league and Champions League is very doable. I don't think they'll win the FA Cup, but I think I think they'll come short in the FA Cup. But I think a double is very possible. A double is very, very possible in my view. All right. So let's talk on this right now. So Aguero is now, I believe he might be second on the scoring charts. He may be second or third, because I think so. Shearer is still the all-time Premier League goal scorer, and I think because Aguero has now gone past Henry. You could say he's the highest non-English goal scorer in the Premier League table. So my thing is this: is that what's my view here is this: Premier League merchants, international flop, Champions League flop, Premier League legend. So, Jujuman, what do you think this means for Aguero, and how do you think that we should sort of like receive him as a player based on his record?
Yes, I think as far as England is concerned, he's secured his place as one of in the history books. He's considered one of the best strikers
in the Premier League.
Yeah, yes, but with Europe, I mean, he has a excuse me, he has great opportunity to get like this City team. I have the best opportunity to prove themselves in Europe and to prove themselves in Europe because it doesn't get any bigger than the Bernabeu or playing at the Bernabeu. That's the biggest stage in world football. So they have the biggest opportunity. So with Aguero, I mean, after this season, we'll know where he stands because he has also Copa America. So if he wins two trophies and one international and goes really far in the Champions League and has
Argentina are never winning the Copa America anytime soon. So
they can. We have to just give. Yeah. But,
okay. Continue to have hope, bro. Continue to have hope.
Yeah. So with Aguero though, great Premier League, one of the best Premier League strikers ever. Downside is international. I think as you mentioned, international and the Champions League, which he can correct. So before I won't pass the judgment yet. I'll wait until see the Champions League and
okay. Keep waiting, bro. Keep waiting. Before I go to Abdullahi, thank you, Ibn Miranda, for your super chats. HH, do you think Cristiano will be Serie A top scorer? No, I think it's going to be Immobile. I think Immobile will end up being top scorer. I think he just on a crazy run for Lazio now. Lazio will not win the league, but I think Immobile will end up being top scorer. So Cristiano may be second or third. So Abdullahi, Aguero, how should we rank him? Should we really give him more credit as one of the great strikers, or is he just Premier League merchant?
Aguero is a Premier League merchant. He hasn't even shown in Europe or internationally that this is how good I am. Yeah, he only scored. He can score 4, 5, 6, 7 goals in APL, but he hasn't even scored any. Like in Champions League, he hasn't shown how good he is in Europe. So the credit has to be in EPL first because like right now, we all watch EPL a lot. So for me, it's an EPL matchup for now. He has to show like what Jujuma said. Playing at Santiago Bernabeu is the best. Man, for Pep Guardiola and his team, playing Real Madrid, that is the best opportunity for him. If Guardiola is out of that Champions League, I'm saying it right now, you need to induct that Man City team. You know, everybody in that team. Because you can't spend 500 million euro and see bottle and still not even sniff Champions League final. You can't spend that kind of amount.
On Aguero, how should Aguero
Raheem Sterling, those kind of money. Those are top players who can go to a team and win trophies.
On Aguero, how do you rank him? Focus on Aguero. On Aguero.
And Aguero, for me, is a Premier League match for now. He's a Premier League match. He hasn't even shown anything in Europe yet. So I won't categorize him as the way we categorize Lewandowski and Benzema.
Right. Vas, Aguero, how do you rank him? Vas.
Dude, like, okay, so in my opinion, I mean, okay, so he's definitely not as good as Suarez and Lewandowski. Let's just start with that. Kane, yeah, dude, I think Aguero is way better than Kane. Okay, let's be honest. But like what people are saying, Abdullah and everyone, what they're saying is pretty accurate, dude, because even though Aguero is one of Argentina's leading goal scorers of all time, how many of those goals actually came in Copa America or World Cup scenarios? Not many. So this guy saying he's a league merchant is pretty accurate, dude. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter, dude, because the thing is that, like, this season he's not going to win Copa America. He's not going to win Champions League. I mean, like, because Man City, they got sniped by Liverpool in the league, and at some point they're probably going to meet Liverpool again in the Champions League and get sniped there as well. So, yeah, dude, and Firmino will cement his legacy above Aguero. I'll mark my words.
Oh, wow. Mr.
I think that's revised psychology because.
What do you mean, dude, do you have seen Klopp's
That is the fact. Jujuman, that is the fact. The fact is always the fact.
Look, We can't just discount them before like City.
Jojo man, this is the fourth season Guardiola has been in Champions League now. This is the fourth year. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 4.
One,
You cannot
Dude,
tell
Man
me
City
you
aren't
have
winning the Champions League, dude. Their
4
defense
years
is way too weak.
already in
Wait.
the Champions League.
Wait, wait,
The last time we won that Champions League was 2015. It was 2011
but give him a chance though.
when he was in Barcelona.
Give him a chance.
Red. Aguero breaking the record for the Premier League. How should he be ranked?
I mean, what did this change? What does that even mean? Like, who cares? He's exactly ranked where he's supposed to be ranked. He's a elite striker. He's gonna be regarded as one of the greatest Premier League strikers of all time, and that's it. Like, I don't think he's a legend in Argentina. I don't think people in Argentina really rate him that much. I don't think outside of England a lot of people really worry about Aguero. He's been kept quiet on multiple occasions. The only notable European game he's ever had was a hat-trick against Bayern, and that was in a group stage.
Facts.
But that's it. Like, so, like, what? And cool. He broke the record the year where Liverpool broke every record that his team broke. Like, what does this even mean? Like, it's an irrelevant stat. Being the top scorer in a league is really it's really just bragging rights for players in that league. Outside of it, like, I'm not following the Premier League, so I don't care if he's like. I'm a La Liga fan. I'm a Real Madrid fan. So for me, it means nothing to me. So yeah, like, he's ranked. Well, if you want an all-time strikers, maybe top 50, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you say top 50 or top 15?
No, top 50, 50.
50.
No, because like think about it, HH. Like he's top 10 Premier League strikers, right? Easily.
Top 5.
Talking about, yeah. Top 5 Premier League strikers, right? Now, if we're talking about the greatest strikers of all time, aside from who from the Prem was really, aside from Thierry Henry and maybe Alan Shearer, who else? Like who else is in that top? Because the most elite strikers usually came from like Italy, Spain. You have like from Holland. Like when we're talking about the elite, is really Aguero gonna be? Is he better than most? Like I can name probably 20 strikers in the 90s that are better than him.
Wait, Wayne Rooney was good.
No. Rooney was trash. Okay, wait.
No, even Rooney's actually better than Aguero. Like he's better than Aguero. That's
dude,
a fact.
yeah, even statistically, he's better than Aguero, dude.
Like Rooney, at least Rooney, like
Hazem, just round us off here. You're breaking the record. Where does this rank for you? Hazem.
Oh, I think the answer is pretty clear. He only shows up with these numbers in the league. He hasn't done it in the Champions League. You know, people insult Lewandowski for Champions League. At least he scored in all the semifinals that he's playing. Like Aguero has scored in 0 semifinals, right? Has he reached the semifinal? I'm not sure. For me, it's just an embarrassment, and I don't know why people keep on naming him along with the top ones like Suarez and Lewandowski. Like, why do you name them in that class? He's not in that class. It's Suarez, Lewandowski, and Benzema in that class. The ones who show up in the Champions League, not the ones who are just playing in the league and not doing anything anywhere else. And, you know, it's not the fact that his team is not good enough to go far in the Champions League. Consistently, he has had a great team in the Champions League, and he's had chances to get them through, but he just hasn't been able to show up. So I think it's pretty clear, and Aguero has a lot of work to do if he wants to get into legendary strikers like Suarez and even higher Lewandowski.
Okay, wait. Before I just go to the next thing, I just want to just address some stuff happening in the live chats. First off, I know it's painful. I know you don't like it, but whether you like it or not, you can cry all you want. Hazard is top 3 players in the world. Sorry, I know you don't like it. He simply is. Second thing, he did win a European Cup and led the team to a European Cup trophy. That's another thing as well. Third thing as well, let me know because people have been saying so much crap in the live chat. I'm trying for me to respond. Third thing is he did ball in a World Cup semi. Most of your pathetic did nothing in a World Cup semi. Okay, most of your guys who you call greatest of all time, what the hell did they do in a World Cup final or in a World Cup semi? The biggest trophy in the world. Zad showed up with carrying that Belgium team in that semi. That's another thing. Fourth thing is this. Let's wait until February. You are insulting a man who is injured. Let's Zad come back from injury and let him ride. Because if I swear to you, people, because I'm remembering all the crap you losers are saying. Because he shouldn't. If you allow Zard to win a Champions League for Real Madrid, guys, I'm going to be the most annoying person you've ever seen in your life. I swear to you. Because I win both ways. If Real don't win the Champions League first season, if he does with no help, I am going to so enjoy it. I will so enjoy it because the disrespect you are giving one of the best players in the world is sad, it's immature, and it's pathetic. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say. And also, Aguero can score all the goals he wants. He never did what Drogba did in that Champions League final, which alone supersedes everything he's done in his entire career, and that was facts. Let me see the super chat here from Yassir Said. So, thank you very much for your super chat, Yassir Said. Messi literally carried Argentina his whole career, and what did Aguero do? He sat there and watched Messi suffer, give him a scholarship break. Well, Yassir,
Argentina to what?
You're living on the fact that Messi was a no-show in the 2014 semi and was a no-show in the 2014 final as well. And you're living on the fact that Messi hasn't scored a single goal in a World Cup knockouts game. Let's put his feet to the fire as same as Aguero. So guys, don't deliver to all the juicy details.
Facts.
Okay. Now, is the Premier League a poverty league? Oh God, FG has arrived. Is the Premier League a poverty league? Now, I am not taking anything away from Liverpool. I'm really not. I'm not taking anything away from Liverpool at all. I appreciate what Liverpool do. I'm happy with and Liverpool have been amazing. They've been amazing. So this takes nothing away. But have you looked at the Premier League table lately? And in my view, this was in my view personally, I believe that the Premier League, in the words of the great Juju man, is a poverty league. It's a sideshow league. It's the league needs to be inducted because Liverpool and Man City have totally, completely embarrassed the league and have made it irrelevant. Okay, let me just say this. So, Original Bisani, thank you for your super chat that I missed. Sorry, bro. Red and Juju man speak on man like Waza, aka Rooney. Guys, Rooney was overrated. You know it. Everyone knows it. He was alright at the best.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
No, he was. This guy
Rooney's better than Drogba, but Rooney's better than.
Yeah, Rooney is among the best players to ever play this sport. Like this guy is a legend. He is.
Juju man, no, Juju, don't.
He was so good.
HH, why are you hating on the white Pele?
Yeah.
Like honestly, HH, like his goal scoring record, like he.
Hey, Red, dude. Red, dude.
Okay, so Red, you believe that
the white Pele,
one of the best
Pele
players?
the black Rooney.
I mean, because Pele was before him, we can't call him the black Rooney. He has to be the white Pele. But no, like HH, here's the thing.
Look, Rooney influenced Pele before Rooney even existed.
That's how great he was.
Yeah.
No, but like all trolling aside, HH, Rooney was part of one of the most lethal front threes of the world. Like him, Tevez, and Ronaldo. He was scoring clutch goals. Let's not forget, like if you go look at his goal scoring reel, like he's had some insane finishes.
Okay, Red, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, just a simple question. So let me ask you this: whenever was Rooney the main man for United? He was a side chick to Cristiano, a side chick to Tevez, a side chick to Van Persie, a side chick to Van Nistelrooy.
I disagree, HH, because Van Persie was a loser till he came to United and won with United. Him partnering up with Rooney was able to cover for the times that Van Persie wasn't turning up. They were only great together. Right? No offense to Van Persie, he's an elite striker. I'm not trying to downplay him, but I'm just telling you the truth. Like Rooney was always a winner. From when he came to United as one of the most expensive teenagers in the English game, and he lived up to every single penny.
What did he truly achieve as an individual?
Dude, isn't he like the top scorer or something?
Didn't he got the Golden Boy Award as a kid, and he lived up to every to every.
Stop. Who won the Golden Boy recently?
João Felix.
Ooh,
Now, HH. Now, allow me, because I'm going to tell you something. If João Felix has half the career that Rooney had, he's success.
Yes.
Like Rooney, HH was winning league time. Like, watch, people all hyped up Pep City last season, right? They won. Absolutely, HH, absolutely.
Fergie gave him those titles.
No, Fergie put him in that team and managed him, and Rooney delivered.
Yeah.
Rooney did what his part, and that's why you have to rate him.
Yeah,
No,
but
no, no, no.
like the only
Let's be fair here. I ain't calling Rooney crap. No way. Rooney was a very talented player. 100%.
No, you're saying he's overrated.
He just wasn't as good as people made him out to be. So for me,
you know why, Abolech? It's because Rooney was no professional. This guy used to drink beer and he wasn't professional. He probably didn't even watch out for his diet. If he followed everything if he was a true professional, all this hype is justified.
He would have extended his career. He would have extended his career at least another 2 or 3 more years. Yeah. That's the thing is with Rooney is that he really wasn't he didn't have the mentality of, let's say, for example, a Cristiano Ronaldo. Because had he had that mentality, he would have at least stayed playing until at least 2017 at the elite level instead of having to leave at 2014.
No. I mean, but I still believe that you guys are just overrating his time.
Now, by the way, for the chat, Rooney did it in the Champions League. Actually, Rooney went to finals. My only criticism of Aguero is that Aguero has never made it to a European final, has never done it outside his country. In Argentina, he was always second best to Higuain, who everybody says is crap. That's the thing.
He is though.
No. But that's the thing is, if he's crap and Aguero is his backup, then what are we talking about?
No. Aguero was super crap, but Higuain was that guy missed some very key chances. But wait, let me hit the super chat. So, from original base, Annie says, if Hazard flops, you have to do a 5 minutes apology. HH, apology for what? I don't have to apologize for anything. What do I have to apologize for?
Hazard won his first trophy. You didn't have to lift a finger.
No. I'm not apologizing for anything. No way. So the question is this. So Jujuman, start us off. Is the Premier League a poverty league? Should we stop calling the Premier League an elite league or one of the best leagues in the world? Have Man City and Liverpool combined made this league now irrelevant?
I think the league. No. I would say we should give credit to Liverpool and Man City for the management, because I look at teams like. This will be painful for some fans, but I look at teams like Arsenal and United. I mean,
Jujuman, don't pull back, man. This is the Hangouts, baby.
All right. So look at a team like Arsenal. They operate on emotions. Like they hired a manager who has nothing, because the English. What I'm looking at, it looks like the English have some inferiority complex as far as management is concerned, because they took someone like Arteta, who no record, nothing, gave him a first job in a team, and so a team with the stature of Arsenal. So it's like, the management, I don't know who makes this decision. And you look at United is a very prestigious club, all this history. Who do they give a job to? Ole. Who are they signing? How are these clubs managed?
Champions League money.
It's a poverty league.
Yeah, no, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a poverty league. I would give credit to Liverpool and Man City. How they manage is more.
Wait, Jujuman,
it's not Serie A.
Poverty league when they
no, it's not poverty league. Like
14 points, Clay. It's not a poverty league.
Yes, and I think all the credit goes to Liverpool, because how they managed. They came in with a manager, with a strategy, and they had like. How many years? Like 4 or 5 years to implement the strategy.
You could say the same
and
thing.
They did it. But the other teams, like when Arsenal hired Arteta, what's the goal? Like, where are they going? Where are they improving? What's the 4-year plan or the 5-year plan? Nothing. It's just emotions. And then look at United. What's the goal? What's the strategy? What are they going for? Like, is this when they hired Ole, is this a long-term plan? Is this how they want to see themselves in 5 or 10 years? No. And then, this is your team, but it's Martial Harsh. It's the same thing with Chelsea. But Chelsea at least
Same is minimum. Relax.
Yeah, true, but Chelsea at least are focusing on the youth, so they have a strategy. The rest of the teams, it's just I don't know how they operate. So I wouldn't call it a poverty league. Double H. I would say I know the point. The points, like, you can't compare. Premier League is still a superior league, but
okay. So the credit Premier League as the top league in the world.
Yes, and and the credit should go to Liverpool and Man City, because they manage really well. Like, this is a properly well managed club. The credit should go to them.
So from Yasir Saeed, man, thank you very much to your super chats. Says HH is a United hater. I'm not actually. I'm actually I don't hate anyone. My boy Rashford, though, 14 Gs. No. Rashford has done well. The thing about Rashford is this, shout out to Patrick Member Mo, is that Rashford is not a world-class player. He'll never be a world-class player, and he will never be in the same breath as Mbappe or the Us. Mbappe and the Us, that's the future of football right there. He will never, ever, ever be in that category, but he has impressed me this season, and he has done an amazing season. And I am more and more impressed with the kinds of our ability and the kinds of things that he's been able to show. So let's bring in here FG. So FG, is the Premier League a poverty league? Yes or no?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, man. Talk, man. What the hell?
Oh yeah, I mean, poverty league. I mean, actually, never mind. It is a poverty league.
Have you looked at the league table?
Yeah. I changed my mind. It is a poverty league. I mean, when you look back and since 2014, there's been no title race except for last season. If that doesn't tell you it's a poverty league and a one-team league, I don't know what else. I mean, not to mention the lower teams. I've never seen any other league where the lower teams they don't know how to play. They don't know how to pass a damn ball. They don't know how to play good football. Most of these players in this league are complete garbage outside the top 3 teams. So, and it's not even enjoyable to watch. And the best team in this league, Liverpool, it's literally long balls for days. I mean, am I watching the best team in the world or Stoke City? I don't know. This is the Premier League these days. It's. I mean, I think it's, in my opinion, it's worse than the Bundesliga these days. That's how bad this league is.
Okay. BD is the Premier League a poverty league? Yes or no?
No. La Liga is a poverty league, though. That's how I see it.
I didn't ask about La Liga. I asked about the Premier League. The Premier League.
It's not
Is the Premier League a poverty league? Yes or no?
No, it's not a poverty league.
Have you looked at the league table?
What you say?
Have you looked at the league table lately, bro?
Oh my God. You have to understand football. How many Champions League teams come from England compared to all the other European leagues? Do you know England has more Champions League winners in their leagues than Bundesliga, Serie A, and La Liga? This is what you have to think about, HH. And also, I want to tell you something. Barcelona cannot beat Wolves. Wolves go to Camp Nou and beat Barcelona. It's true.
Are you sure about that? Because Barcelona are unbeaten in Camp Nou for at least 7 years.
Bro, Barcelona don't know how to handle teams that can't utilize
BD Core. Barca are unbeaten in Camp Nou for the past 7 years.
It doesn't matter. Hercules beat Barcelona. Betis even beat Barcelona because they utilize their chances. The same thing goes with Wolves. If Wolves go to Barcelona, just like how they did in the Etihad, they go to Camp Nou and they play Barcelona, they can literally score 3 Gs against Barcelona if they can utilize their chances. I'm telling you this right now. I even think Southampton can beat Barcelona too. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually see Southampton be. So EPL is not a poverty league. The mid-table teams can beat the top 4 Spanish teams. Not only that, the mid-table teams can literally play alongside the Bundesliga high-quality mid-table teams too. You know what I'm trying to say? I think personally.
Do you guys remember when BD Core was saying the Premier League was high PL and La Liga was the best league in the world? Just a couple of months ago.
I learned my lesson.
Guys,
okay,
go back and listen to those classic hangouts.
Let me address that. I learned my lesson. All right, I learned my lesson, and you know why? For me, this is the thing. I've came back to reality, and I've seen that I made a mistake in calling the EPL high PL. So I'm very sorry. I want to tell it to all the people in the chat. I'm very, very sorry.
But learn from your lesson and stop shitting on other leagues, because in a couple of months you're going to come and apologize to La Liga just like you were apologizing to the EPL. How about you just respect football and the football teams and just actually critique and analyze them without having these biased points of view?
Why should I respect
Oh, and
a
by the
league
way, dude,
whose defenses are trash?
I have a question for you. Dude, so you think Champions League is the barometer, right, to measure how good a team is?
Yeah.
Okay, and which league has the most number of Champions Leagues? It's not the Premier League.
No. I'm not talking about just two teams who have more Premier League titles. I'm talking about multiple teams. How many multiple teams have Champions Leagues in La Liga? How many multiple
No,
teams have Champions League?
but BD you're missing the point. Forget about how many champions they have. Focus
Okay.
on what Liverpool and Man City have done to the league and how
Okay.
it's become a one-team league. How can you still call it a one-team league if
Mm-hmm.
a team are 14 points ahead? Last season, two teams had 98 points and 7 points. And the season previous, Man City won it with 100 points with a 16, 17, 18 point gap ahead of Man United. How is it not a one-team league then? Or what? That's the point I am making, that City and Liverpool have
Mm-hmm.
totally, completely set themselves apart from the rest of the league. And Liverpool have not taken it to the very next level.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I understand. HH. For me, this is my thing. I think for the City and Liverpool thing that you're talking about, this is my personal opinion. What I will say is, I bet on EPL to be the better league than all the rest of the leagues because there's more unexpected scenarios in the EPL
Like what?
than there is in La Liga. Bro, HH, don't get me wrong, bro. EPL, right, has more teams there's more teams in EPL who can literally beat the La Liga mid-table teams. They're physical, they're tactical. The EPL teams, they have a style of play. Every manager's different. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like La Liga where there's only one philosophy: attack, attack, attack. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. For me personally, it's not. Liverpool might be leading the league, but I want you guys to understand there is a time when Liverpool will lose a game. Liverpool's not gonna go unbeaten. That's
Okay.
why I love the league so much.
Okay,
They're not.
all right. Okay, wait. Let me just hit the super chat here. So, in super chat from Anthony Mack, and thank you for your £5 super chat, bro. So he says, so if the Premier League is a poverty league, where is the rich league in Europe? I would argue it's La Liga. I loved 90s football, but those glory years in Serie A are long gone. You know what? I think, Anthony Mack, you make a very interesting point. And I think, see, what is happening, because this is what I've been warning people for so many years, which is why I've said that club football as a competitive medium is dying. And I said, guys, it's happening, but people didn't want to listen to me. You've just seen a little bit of a hiccup in the Bundesliga for this season, but Bayern have dominated that league. Juve have dominated the French league. Juve have dominated the Serie A. Barcelona have dominated La Liga. So the only last bastion of the major leagues was the Premier League. But we saw what City did with the 100 points and what Liverpool have done now. And the way Liverpool are constructed and City are constructed, nobody's going to touch them. Nobody will touch them. Like, there is nothing that was going to say that Liverpool are not going to go next season and win. So what is happening now is all of the major leagues have now become either one-team leagues or two-team leagues, but mainly one-team leagues. And that is extremely worrisome for club football. Hence why, talk about this and everything, really where it's at is because the Champions League.
Oh, no, I agree, HH.
But
I
what
agree.
Real Madrid did with those three sales was crazy. But for me, that will never happen for a long time. Hence why people need to bow down when you look at Zidane. Like, really, maybe this is a different discussion we need to have. And we've not really had this discussion. Which is the greater team? That's Real Madrid team or the Xavi Iniesta Barca team? But before we get there, let's go to the other guys, man. So, Vas, is the Premier League a poverty league? Yes or no?
Dude, now I'm gonna expose the hell out of this whole thing. Dude, the Premier League hasn't been good since the 2000s era. That decade, 2000 to 2010, that was when the Premier League peaked. You're talking like Benitez's Liverpool, Ferguson's United, like Mourinho's Chelsea, Wenger's, younger Wenger's Arsenal. That was the peak of the Premier League. This decade, dude, of the Premier League, they haven't really produced any good team. Let's look at it from two different aspects. Look at competitiveness, and let's look at it quality-wise. Quality-wise, it's been pretty crap this whole decade. I'm not gonna lie. And in terms of competitiveness, it's not been competitive since like 15, 16. And speaking of that, that's when you realize the league is crap, dude. When you allow a team like Leicester, to like make a mockery out of this league. And since then, there hasn't even been a title race. dude, like in 16-17 when Chelsea won the league with 93 points, there was no title race there. They pretty much had the title on lock since like October. Season after that, like Man City had like won the title in like September or something. You know, like the only title race we got like was the 17-18. You know, probably like, or no, 18-19 was one of the best title races. But now, I think Liverpool have just completely swept the league. And, you know, the way you gauge it, dude, is by how these teams have performed in Europe, dude. La Liga has completely dominated Europe. Like, you know, if you look at overall the 2010s, you know, the Premier League really had, the only really good Premier League team, in my opinion, in that whole time frame was Liverpool. Chelsea completely fluked the Champions League. They won that 2012 champion. That was Bayern's trophy, not Chelsea. And also, you know, like overall, it just looked, dude. Like I think Liverpool is probably like one of the best teams we've ever seen. But the rest of this league, I mean, like, even City, dude. Like I mean, how good was City like really if they can't even make one semi? We'll see what they do in this decade. But like,
Wait, Vas,
I'm not
this
even
is my
impressed by
argument.
them, to be honest.
This is my argument, though, Vas. Last year, look at the teams there in the Champions League, because we're using Champions League as a metric. I mean, Tottenham was in the final.
Oh yeah, last year.
No, bro, no, Judgman,
don't.
don't. Tottenham. No offense to Tottenham and everything. I respect them. They fluked their way to that final.
Oh, no, we can't say that. No.
Yes, wait, what do you mean I can't say? Yes, I can. Yes,
no,
I can.
because they
No.
won.
Let's be real. They fluked their way to the final. Don't use this as an example.
No, they did not. They deserve to be in that final.
Are Tottenham going to sniff the final this season? Because
we don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know that, but we can't take that away from them. Like they beat Ajax. Ajax beat Juventus.
Man, it was one of the craziest runs we've ever seen.
Yes, but they still did it. It was all legitimate.
Other than last season, there was no season in this whole decade where the Premier League was really like that much quality. Only last season.
How about how about the season before? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Liverpool beat Roma like 5-0 in 60 minutes.
No, it was 7-6.
Yeah, but the first leg, the league, you can't say 7-6 when they scored like late goals.
No.
The
You can't
was
say
over, but they lost. That's the important point. They lost. We're not going to bicker over the details. They lost.
So your point was this 5-0. That's a huge.
No, they lost. That's my point. They lost, and another EPL team dominated. We look at it.
They didn't dominate.
Look, we look at the years before. People say EPL has been trash, but I mean, Chelsea went with PSG neck to neck like a couple of times.
Roma beat Chelsea 3-0.
Dude,
yeah, but they didn't win anything. Like, the last time a Serie A team won a Champions League was in 2006. So
doesn't matter.
Aside from La Liga, I mean, EPL is still.
Wait, 2006? No,
yeah,
2007.
2007.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It was so long. I mean,
but that was the last decade, dude. Like that was the peak Premier League. We're talking like the previous decade, like 2000s. Okay, yeah, it was peak.
Here's a better argument. If you look at the quality of the Premier League, look at the best. If you look at the best Premier League 11 of the last 10 years, you have some shocking players. You have players like Azpilicueta in there, Ivanovic, Henderson. I mean, Ozil. People might put
Henderson.
Ozil. That's
how is Henderson in the best Premier League team of the decade? Hell no.
I mean, he's good. I mean,
Henderson is effective. I will never ever call Henderson an amazing football player.
You have guys like
never.
People have like Aguero and Kane in the all-time 11 in the last decade when they have flopped internationally and in the Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure, who's in the Premier League 11 of the last 10 years, who's flopped in the Champions League. These are the type of quality players in this league.
Wait, if don't perform in the big Toure is trash. Like this
guy, he's trash. He doesn't show up in the big games.
Yaya Toure is among the best.
Chill. I want to swing this somewhere different because I think I'm just looking at the live chat and someone just said something interesting. I want to bring it up. So, just says, why don't we have a Super League every 6 years? But my thing is that are we heading towards a Super League?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's the best solution for.
Because before you go, because my thing here is that, and this is what I've said before. Like, you see, I'm a football fan first. I call myself a complex Chelsea fan. But I'm a football fan, and I want to just see the best of the best of the best of the best. So just really comment about football. And I've been saying this thing for many years that, man, club football is dying. Club football domestic. Let me be clear, domestic.
Yeah, Champions League still
dying because I said that the gap between these teams and the rest is ridiculous. Where you're not even watching a title race, you're watching that who's going to come top four or who will get relegated. How are you watching a title race and you're having compelling arguments for who will come top four? Where people are, who will win the top four race? I mean, no. 20 teams compete to win the trophy. I'm watching the World Cup. Let's see who gets into the semi-finals. I'm watching the Nations Cup. Let's see who gets into the quarterfinals. No. Teams are competing to win the trophy. So you're trying to see who can win the trophy. But if you're watching a thing and a team halfway through are 10 points ahead, 15 points ahead, these guys are winning. It's like, wait, where is the competition? So people who said that, oh my gosh, the Super League will ruin football and everything. How is it going to ruin football? Because
I'll explain. Though, like, it's pretty simple.
Okay. I mean, because I said I'll go to Jujuman. So let me and I go to Jujuman, then FG. What is compelling to watch is who's going to win. It's not compelling when you know that of course Liverpool are going to beat Norwich. Of course they're going to beat like flipping Sheffield United or West Ham. They lose. That's surprising. If it's Liverpool against Juventus, if it's Liverpool against PSG, it's 50-50. It's compelling because you now have
but HH.
But what they have in these domestic leagues is the top teams are miles upon miles away from the rest of the team. And this is not how it was back when I was watching football, man. Things have gotten really bad. So, Juju, man, hit it.
Yes, I would say I'm all for European League. I doubt it'll happen though, because I doubt it'll happen. But what's it called with this Double H though? I think we should give credit to, because I mean with EPL specifically, because with the other leagues, I mean the quality is just, I mean some of the teams I've seen, but with EPL, what Liverpool are doing is I think it should be given, credit should be given to them. It's a well managed team, and because people say EPL has been horrible in the last. I don't think EPL has been is a terrible league. I just think
no. Wait. Okay, no. I'm not insulting. No, the Premier League is still very entertaining with amazing fans and amazing stories. I'm just saying that Liverpool are embarrassing the league. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, true, Double H. But the Liverpool are the best team in the world. Like they will embarrass any league in Europe. So with the Liverpool, I mean they're just showing how great they are. So I don't think it makes the league look bad with the 16 point. But I mean it's Liverpool are the best team. So it's like it's justified. Like it's justified.
Can I respond?
So FG.
Oh yeah, look, this is why you don't want a Super League. I mean, first of all, Super League, I don't think it's ever happening. It's too many complications with the whole money and stuff. And secondly, if it did happen, you would only have like 3 or 4 years of competitiveness in that Super League, because eventually Madrid and Barca and maybe PSG, they're gonna have all the money. They're gonna take all the best players from Juventus, Inter, Arsenal, United, City. Like eventually that league, Super League, will be like a 2 to 3 team league. So
yeah, eventually.
Short term wise, it's amazing, but long term wise, it's just gonna be a 1 team league eventually.
But look, just to be clear here, I don't want a Super League, and as I said it before, a Super League would be the death of football. But I just think that a Super League makes sense if one team is going to win it 5, 6, 8 times in a row. You see, Premier League hasn't gotten there yet. The Premier League hasn't gotten to the point of where the Bundesliga and the Serie A onto a point, the French Liga, where you have one team winning it 4, 5, 6 times in a row. But I don't know how long Klopp will stay at Liverpool, but let's say Liverpool win this thing like 4 or 5 times in a row.
They won't. I'll tell you why they won't. There's only one team that has ever won 3 Premier Leagues in a row. That's Fergie's United. And not to mention, I think next season Liverpool will win the league again. But you have to remember, if they win the league this year, next year, that's 3 straight years where they won 95 plus points. So by the 4th season, they're going to be tired out, worn out. So eventually, one team will catch up and just win the league, like Chelsea or City again. So there's no way. And plus, I'm thinking with Premier League, even though we say it's not that great. Look, all these big teams in the top 4 and top 6, they have the money, they have the resources to spend. So we'll never get to a stage where one team wins 5 or 6 or 7 league titles in a row.
And pressure from the money, from fans and the media, they won't allow a team to win 5 in a row.
This is my thing about the Premier League. last season they were the best league in the world. They had the teams in the Champions League. They did the best in the Champions League. But over the past decade, La Liga has dominated. And for me, you measure the best teams in the league by how they do in the Champions League. And Premier League teams have done well recently, so you have to give them credit. But this season, they've been doing poorer. Like Liverpool, who is top of the league by 14 points, they lost and drew to Napoli, who was 11th in Serie A. Like that's
Yes.
And not to mention, you have to remember, people like you can't expect Man City to challenge for the league this season, considering they just came from a 100-point season and then a 98-point season. They're going to be burned out eventually.
Okay, wait. So, let me just hit the super chats and then I'll get back to it. Let me just because I don't want to lose the super chats. So from Anthony Markin, thank you for the £5 super chats. So thank you for the £5 super. Anthony Markin says domestic football started to die when United pulled out of the FA Cup in 1999. I don't think they did because they won the treble in the 98 and 99 season. So I don't think they pulled out. That's when Ryan Giggs scored that crazy goal against Arsenal. That's when club football started to look more international. No, I don't think that happened. And I think interesting, like club football. I don't say club football is dying. I'm just saying that club football is becoming a lot more monotonous, specifically the domestic. Champions League is still the last bastion of excitement, but domestically speaking, there is not that much excitement. There isn't.
Wait. But you look. But you
say let me not. There's not a title race in the Premier League. There isn't a title race in the French league. Monaco ain't doing crap. And even if La Liga and what's it called? The
Serie A.
There's more of a title race. When you look at the past 5-6 years, there really has not been that much of a title race in those leagues. So that's just what I'm saying. In the past 3-4 years, including this year, club football is becoming much smaller, and very of a with regards to specifically the domestic leagues, not the Champions League. Let me hit this other one from Andrew. Thank you for the 499 super chat, bro. Who says CFC, Man U, AFC have more money than Liverpool. It's more to do with other big teams' mismanagement and poor spending.
Exactly.
So, my thing is that is most likely true. As I'm taking nothing away from Liverpool. They have the best manager in the world, arguably. They have some of the best players in the world in a Van Dijk and a Sadio and a Fabinho. So they have been managed really well, and they're an amazing team. Hence why, for me, they're the best team in Europe right now. But the facts of the facts is, even if they've done it the right way, they've made the Premier League a joke. And people say, oh, it's only for one season. If Klopp remains at Liverpool and they keep their players and they keep adding to their players, why aren't they going to do it next season and the season after and the season after?
They'll burn out, Double H. They'll burn out.
Leicester City is just a rare anomaly. Well, was that FG? Who wanted to say something?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Gigi, go. You can go.
Yes, and I think Double H. I think we should give credit more to Liverpool then, because I think Andre mentioned it. It's the mismanagement. We should give Liverpool more the credit for what's happening rather than the quality of EPL. Because I think Liverpool, like the management, the structure in the club is fantastic. Like it's really great.
And not to mention, like, who cares if they're like 16 points clear? This is going to be their first damn trophy in 30 years, so it's going to be a spectacle. So might as well demolish the league while you're at it.
Yeah.
And plus, if they go unbeaten and they're on course to get 112 points. That's the projection right now. If they get 100 plus points and an unbeaten run in the league, we're looking at like the greatest league side team of all time.
We're
basically watching a historic team.
So do you think they will go unbeaten then? Do you think that's
I think they'll either go unbeaten or they're gonna either go unbeaten or they'll get more than 105 points.
I'd say they get more than 100 points, but they won't go unbeaten. I don't think it's possible in modern day football unless they get out of Champions League.
Dude, they almost did it last season.
If they can beat Chelsea, United, and City when they play again, they'll go unbeaten. I think.
Too many games.
Well, they still have to play Wolves though. They still have to.
Come on, man! Wolves, man! This is 2020, man.
Plus, we cannot underestimate the lower bottom teams. Like everyone wants to break Liverpool's heart because it's like.
Are you sure, Juju? I mean, look,
yes,
man,
yes,
look.
like,
When you look at these Premier League teams, they can't score a damn goal. They're not good with their feet. They won't break that Liverpool defense.
Can I respond, please?
Talk, man. Talk.
Yeah, I understand
Talk,
what.
speak, someone speak.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Abdullah, yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. I understand what FG and Juju man are saying. Like for me, I understand what he's saying, but you can't credit have to be given to especially Liverpool. Like what the guy said is a poor spending and man management team. We have to give credit to Liverpool also and also Manchester City, the kind of way they spend money. Because if you look at Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal, we have the money to spend as a team, but we're spending it on the wrong player, Bakayoko, the Jolobuti. What kind of players are that? But when we have a good scout and when we have a good scout, you spend money on good players who better the team, who make the team go higher and higher. So credit has to be given to Liverpool. The kind of way they spend Sadio Mane, Shaqiri, Van Dijk, Alisson Becker, those Divock Origi. Those scouts, the kind of way they spend money on good players who is gonna make them better and make them good. We need to credit has to be given to them. And APL is not a poverty league because Liverpool are leading by 13 or 14, but doesn't mean it's a poverty league. Man City won the league back to back 100 points and 98 points. So are we gonna call the rest of the same poverty league? No. The rest of this just need to step up. We need to step up our games and like challenge those two of them. We need to challenge them. Once we can challenge them.
But I mean, the way the Liverpool are looking and the way Man City are looking with how much money they can spend, I just not know how the other teams can close that gap. That's just for me personally. But I want to ask another question here. I want to ask another question here, just to sort of round this off, maybe because we've been going for 2 hours. Thank you for guys who've been coming in with us. Remember, hit that like button, man. We're riding for 2 hours. This is a question I've been asking for some time.
Okay.
The best three, because I think a lot of teams now play this 4-3-3 formation or 4-3-2 and so forth. And again, people talk about how effective Fabinho, Henderson, and your boys are in there, like Ronaldo. So at their best, who was a better midfield three? Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets, or Casemiro, Modric, and Toni Kroos? At their best, the better front three. Let's go start with FG.
Look, man. Okay,
at their best.
At their best. Look, at their best, it's Casemiro, Kroos, Modric. And look, if you have a midfield that can go 3 Champions Leagues in a row and win 4 in 5 years, and then in those midfields have a World Cup champions, World Cup finalists, like you have and a Ballon d'Or winner, by the way, too, in that midfield. Unlike Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. So it's obviously Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro. But the only problem is, I feel like if that midfield faced against Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, if Barca and Madrid played against each other, Xavi and Iniesta would run through Modric and Kroos easily. Because in the last couple of years, like Iniesta, every time Modric played against Iniesta, old Iniesta, he always gets the better of Modric. So head-to-head wise, Xavi and Iniesta would win, but overall, who's the better in terms of greatness and success? It's the Madrid midfield.
Okay. So before I go to Vas here, Iniesta's side says United are the richest club in the world. Are they?
Yeah, they are. They're the commercial. They're on the top.
So you're the richest club in the world, but
I think they're second to Madrid.
But you're a mid-table team coached by Gollum. Interesting.
They're actually second to Madrid now. Madrid has surpassed them since then.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? A team that's in 6th place is still one of the top 2 richest teams in the world.
That's wild. For me, that makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But FG, it does make sense. Do you know why it makes sense? And this is what I would say.
The Asians.
No. Because you can have all the money in the world.
Yeah.
If I'm a young up-and-coming player, I would rather play. I would rather play for a Real Madrid or a Juventus offering me 60,000 a week than Man United offering me 200,000 a week. 200,000 is a lot of money, but I don't want to play for Man United. I want to play for Juventus or Bayern Munich.
I mean,
so Man United can offer the best players crazy contracts, which they do. Perfect example: Erling Haaland. They would have offered Erling Haaland anything he wanted, but Haaland was like, nah, if it's between Dortmund.
But I think he picked him. He picked him for game time. He would start every game.
And what's it called? And if you're a player, you look at United, it doesn't look like they have a clear plan. Like the management might change in the next few months. Like there's no structure. you cannot put your future there. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
like,
you don't know what's going to happen.
HH, I was actually going to mention that with the Premier League discussion earlier. Is that like, if you look at the Premier League, HH, yes, they've had different winners, but if you actually look at the title races in the past 10 years, even though you had a lot of winners, being like Barcelona won with the majority or Juve won the majority, there was actually title races during those runs. There was one of those runs where Juve were actually in the like near the relegation. They were like 18th, and they were 16th, and they pulled back and won the league. That is much more exciting to watch than the Prem, where every season it's done by January. Chelsea, it was done by January, where they went on 14-game unbeaten run. City, they killed their title race. Only last season there was a real title race. And in this season, you have amateurs running clubs. Lampard is a rookie. Arteta is a rookie. Ole is a rookie. That's 3 out of the top 6 who have rookie managers. You can't rely on City every year to get 100+ points. Like FG said, they've burnt out. Like they get the injuries and all that. It started to affect them. And Vaz actually hit it on the head earlier when we were talking about the last decade. Last decade's Premier League was 10 times better. And we all know this because let's look at last decade's Premier League. 2005, Champions League final, Liverpool. 2006, Champions League final, Arsenal. 2007, Champions League final, Liverpool. 2008, Champions League final, Chelsea, Man United. 2009, Champions League final, United. 2010, nobody. 2011 was United again. 2012 was Chelsea. Like, you see the pattern there. They were dominating in Europe as well as in their leagues. That's when the Prem actually had elite teams. This season, I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool, but honestly, below the top 2 or top 3, everybody's dropped the ball. Everybody, poor management.
It's just Liverpool. It's just
Liverpool. Because, and the reason for that, there's a method to their success, is that Liverpool were patient. They had a 5-year plan. They had concentrated buys. They didn't go after the big
and an amazing manager.
Exactly.
Klopp is the glue. He's the glue that sticks everything together.
Exactly. But look at for example, clubs like Arsenal. Arsenal, because they have so much pressure from their fans, they always have to like the players are under pressure, the manager's under pressure. There's constantly pressure. There's constantly protests and issues. It's hard for the club to really manage well because they have to satisfy their consumers at the same time, try to get a result. But the consumers aren't even willing to be patient for a year or two to actually build a squad. Same thing with United. United, they got Di Maria. He didn't give instant results. Sell him, even though Di Maria is balling right now. They bought Falcao. He didn't give results immediately. Sell him. Let's just lose money. Every time they buy these players, if they don't immediately give them a result, the fans just turn on them, and then they have to sell them because the club's now under pressure. That's poor management. Look at Madrid. Despite people shitting on Courtois last season, they absolutely destroyed this man's legacy. And every time a goal would be conceded, people were just throwing. They stuck with him. They believed in him, and now he's the best in the world. Arguably,
and with Modric was voted
the worst signing.
It was signing in Madrid history before, by
who voted him?
No, La Liga. They had a vote on Marca, and they said that he's the worst signing of the year. Like in 2013, you could look that up, and he came back and won the Ballon d'Or. The key is patience, just like Liverpool did. Liverpool, they were patient with Klopp, because I remember 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago. The first game of the season was Watford versus Liverpool. Liverpool went 3-0 up. Watford came back and it ended 3-3 in a draw. That was 16-17, the season where they finished 4th. I remember in the post-match in that one, Rio Ferdinand and all those like pundits were talking about, Brendan Rodgers by this point had accumulated the same amount of points as Klopp. But of course, because Klopp is a foreign manager, and they're starting criticizing Klopp immediately and comparing him to Brendan Rodgers. Nowadays, we look at it and it's like, that's blasphemous. How dare you compare that Brendan Rodgers to Klopp? Even though Brendan Rodgers is a good manager, but the key there is that patience. They're patient with their teams. And because when you actually have a plan and these buys that you're buying are actually useful buys, and you're not just buying Ross Barkley and Drinkwater for no apparent reason, other than just because you're just trying to buy somebody because he had a decent season, I guess, with Leicester. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's why the Premier League I've seen a decline in it, because no doubt Liverpool are a phenomenal side. This is not about Liverpool. It's easy for them. That's why we're not trying to discredit what they're doing, because they're still doing what they're doing. It's about the other teams. When we're looking at I don't care about the top 4 race.
For me, I think like the 100% is Liverpool have managed their way a lot better. And I think Klopp was a very key, important acquisition. But I do believe that the other teams have to look at themselves. Hence why it's the same thing with the Serie A as well. 100%, yeah, I know that Juventus is a very good team. Are Juventus a superstar team? Are they one of the best teams in Europe? No. And they have never really been one of the leading teams in Europe. So I look at what the other teams are doing and I'm like, okay, why haven't you really been up to snuff? Manchester United is a perfect example. They have the money. They're one of the richest clubs in Europe. So why haven't you been able to find better scouts and acquire the right players and the right manager in order to get?
But they are scouting each. They do get players. They do get managers. They didn't even give Van Gaal a couple of seasons. Mourinho actually had them second. He had them winning trophies, and they sacked him because he just had an underwhelming season. You have to stick with your manager. Even Zidane, after having one of the worst La Liga starts ever, they stuck by him because they know, okay, this guy's giving us results. We'll let him finish the whole season, and he ended up delivering a Champions League. They didn't give Mourinho that same benefit of the doubt. They didn't give Van Gaal won the FA Cup, and they still sacked him. It's the fact is, HH, the key thing is patience. Because look, it goes in swings.
Okay. On Man United, then, do you believe that they should have given Moyes one more season? I believe Moyes deserved one more season.
They didn't even give him a transfer window. At least give him a transfer window. At least let this man put his vision into play.
They gave the poor bloke a Fellaini, dog. I mean, that's how.
That's all. You need to give the manager.
He deserved at least one transfer window, bro. He deserved one. I think that was the beginning of the decline of United. Like once they quickly fired Moyes and they quickly went to Arsenal Van Gaal, things were already going off the rails for them. Because look, man, because my thing is that look, if Liverpool win the Premier League, which is most likely, unless Chelsea do something amazing, if Liverpool win the Premier League this season and they defend their Champions League, we may be looking at a new dominant era. Like, I don't believe that we will ever see a team do what Real Madrid did. That will never happen for a long time. Never.
3 in a row?
3 in a row now. Never happened.
Look, I think.
I think Liverpool can defend it.
Oh yeah, they can defend it. They can go back to back. 3 in a row is impossible, and 4 and 5 years is impossible too. But 2 back to back is very possible.
No, like Liverpool, everything's on the table now. Like even when Klopp is trying to lose and he fielded an 11 of youngsters against Everton, they still can't lose. And the reason for that is it's the same thing that I saw happening in La Liga for the past 3 or 4 years, or not even the past decade, really, where teams have an inferiority complex going into matches against Barcelona, or like last season when they go against City, where teams, as soon as they go 1-0 down, 2-0 down, they're like, "There's no way we can beat these guys," and they give up. Like there is none of that. Like you can expect that side, like you can expect City to turn up against them or United to turn up against them because they kind of have to because the rivalry. But like other teams, like if Southampton's turning up to Liverpool, they're already they know in their heads before they go in that we're losing this before we go in, and that's why they're not really turning up against them. Because when you look at Liverpool's side, Liverpool went through injuries this season. They've lost Fabinho, they've lost Matip, they've lost Lovren, they've lost like key players in their squad. Allison, they played with Adrian for the first like 10 games. They've lost key players. The thing is these other teams, they're not turning up. Liverpool are turning up every single game, and they're like, we're here to play ball. The other teams aren't there to play ball. As soon as they go 1-0 down, like, oh, we don't want this to be worse. You could see a lot of people go like,
but are we now saying that Liverpool are firm favorites to win this Champions League than to be kings of Europe?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No,
they are the favorites. Maybe not the firm, but they are the favorites.
They're among the favorites, but in the Champions League, it's different. See, like you can dominate your league, but it means nothing when the Champions League, because in the Champions League, it's best 11 versus best 11. It doesn't matter your previous results.
But the issue here is that Anfield thing is a problem. As long as they have,
I disagree.
The only team that can say what's up is PSG, and that's
what
the
PSG,
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Dude, what PSG? Look, Double H. I think the Anfield thing is a little overhyped. I think teams like PSG, Madrid,
it's completely overhyped.
Only Barca, because Barca just have a weak mentality. Like I think Juve, Madrid, PSG can definitely go to Anfield and get a 2-2 or win.
Bayern. Or even Bayern.
Bayern, the worst.
No, but wait, guys, one at a time. Let me go to FG, then Vas.
God, are we forgetting last season, the worst Bayern side of the last 10 years got a 0-0? They didn't even lose that game at Anfield. They got a 0-0. Look, Anfield is a very tough. Look, I'm telling you, playing at New Camp is harder than playing at Anfield.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
That's that's a fact. There's no argument. So I think Liverpool, they can look. They're definitely the favorites for going back to back, but you can't beat them. Barca at the New Camp against Liverpool. They were 3-0 up. It's only the mentality in Barca. But if that was no.
Those guys. No. Barca, they had chances. They had the chances.
And Barca now they're fucked. I'm expecting a quarterfinal exit.
With Valverde.
No, I think Xavi's coming in too as a manager, so that's even going to be more disappointing.
Yeah,
It's gonna be worse, dude. I'm telling you.
Wait, Double H, did you speak on that? Xavi becoming the new manager?
Wait.
Wait. Let me speak on that. So first of all, Yasir Said, Superchat, thank you. United needs to back Ole. 3 signings isn't enough, bro. Ole is not.
He's
Ole
not
is not the answer
qualified.
for Man United. They can back him all the way from down to the cows come home. It's not going to happen. Javi,
He's
now
not the mentality.
my thing is this. This is the thing about Javi. Don't fall into the trap.
He's no Zidane.
The trap that Barca fans are falling into is that Pep 2.0, really good player, Catalan, Barca through and through, has the philosophy, was, as people have said, he was the system. He's going to come in, bring back the glory days. And not so fast. Because, yes, Pep, two things. First thing is, Pep was obviously just born to play it, and Pep was a direct student of Cruyff. I learned a lot of stuff from Cruyff, and I want to hand out close proximity to Cruyff, one of the great footballing minds. And so that's the first thing, that I don't think Xavi shared the same kind of knowledge that Pep had by being so close to Johan Cruyff. The second thing is Pep had Xavi at his disposal, Iniesta to his disposal. Who is the Xavi of this era? There isn't one.
De Jong.
Exactly. Arguably the best at. Excuse me. Did you just say De Jong?
Yeah, but he's really good.
Wait.
Oh no!
Did you just say De Jong?
Yes, he is.
No, we're not going to put De Jong in the same
you know
bracket
what,
as Xavi Iniesta.
No.
I'll say this.
Let me hear this clearly. You are saying you're putting Frankie, a guy who can't even spell his name right. It's actually called Frankie. It's going to be Frankie. The guy who can't even spell his name right, Frankie De Jong. You're putting him in the same category as Xavi.
I mean, I say he's world 11. He's
Can
among.
I speak on
You'll
that?
be the world 11. Valverde is making De Jong look like the Dacia Ramendi, but under the right coach, he's among the best. Among the best midfielders in the world.
He's not better than Wijnaldum. He's not better than Wijnaldum.
What? I know you can
Wijnaldum
only
is
be
better than
21 years old, and like Barcelona paying you high wages, and you tell me this guy's
Barca paid high wages for Griezmann ass, Dembele ass. Barca have
Arda Turan, Andre Gomes.
No, but De Jong is good. Like De Jong is good. Give him time.
He's good. It's not about him not being good. But here's the thing: this is my problem with like this Xavi appointment and most of these new manager appointments where they just promote old players. People go like, "Oh, look at Zidane and Pep. Look at Madrid." Zidane has been at Madrid from 2002 till now. Even after he retired, he was hired for Madrid and he was in the club and he went up the ranks for 10 years before he was even qualified to coach the first team. Pep Guardiola, he came back to Barcelona after he retired. He coached the B side. He knew the club inside and out and came out. Xavi's been gone for 5 years outside of Barca. I guarantee he doesn't know any of the young fans.
He's outside.
You have offside fans cheering Xavi out in the stadiums.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like I think if Barca go through with this, it's just the fact that they're just trying to calm down the fans. But that's all they're trying to do because the fans, like the funny thing is about them criticizing Valverde after the Super Cup win is Valverde on paper got the game right. They were just very unlucky. Like those 2 offside goals, in my opinion, were very harsh. And like Barca outplayed Atleti. Atleti just got very, very lucky. So had those 2 offside goals stood, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Just that Barca fans are just fed up with the manner of with how they lost the Champions League in the past couple of years, and how Madrid won a 3-peat, and this stuff all just piled up, and now they just want to take their anger out on Valverde.
No, but it's justified.
It's not.
How is it justified?
I think have to round off here. We've been over 2 hours now, man.
Let me speak.
Oh yeah.
Be brief.
One point, yeah. With the it's justified. Valverde era.
Wait. Bidiko and then Jujuman. Bidiko.
Okay. So what I will say is, this is my problem with these rookie managers is that, like, for example, the Xavi guy that you guys are talking about, he's another one of those rookie managers. I'm wondering, are they getting these rookie managers because they're cheap on the market? I'm having a feeling because, like, maybe some of these clubs can't afford the big managers anymore. You get what I'm trying to say? They can't afford the luxury of Allegri. They can't afford the salary of a Simeone or so forth. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I'm thinking that they're getting these managers such as Xavi, Arteta, and so forth, because I'm so confused on why. You see, why is it those rookie managers necessarily? You see, but I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I think Barcelona is dead if Xavi is the manager.
Facts.
Quick point. With the Barcelona frustration over Valverde is justified. I mean, look. It's not personal, but I don't think he's up to Barcelona standards. And then with Xavi, because it's just
So you're saying that the players shouldn't take any of the blame. So,
yes,
the players shouldn't deserve any of the blame.
Yeah, but don't blame the players yet.
Just a counterpoint, just to that. Just kind of, if you don't mind, just explain this to me. Who won the La Liga the past 2 years?
Valverde, but his European performance. I mean, the manner in which he lost is just.
If Barca blow a 4-1 in a 3-0 lead in the second half, you're gonna put all the pressure on the manager. You're not gonna question the players.
Yes, because if that was Conte, there's no way Barcelona are losing. There's no way.
The thing is,
Conte is a perennial European flop. So
but example, like not even Conte. I just to use like the mentality in the manager. Like Mourinho is not going to take that.
Because this is what I always say: a manager does his job if the team creates chances. If the team doesn't create chances, then the manager is not doing his job. If the team creates chances, he's doing his job. If the player doesn't create those chances, how's that the manager's job? In the game at Anfield, Barcelona had chances. Coutinho flopped it. Suarez flopped it as well. And there were individual defensive mistakes made by Piqué and Longley. So how is Valverde to blame?
Because the Valverde did not prepare the players enough not to make those mistakes.
Wait, Gentlemen, you didn't listen to what I said.
Yes.
Barcelona created chances and the players missed those chances. How is that Valverde's fault?
Yeah. They didn't practice enough shooting drills. That's Valverde.
How about this?
He's hired. Wow.
How about this? There's a pattern to Barca's failures over the past couple of years. It's always away from home. And what happens away from home? The fans aren't on your side. So if Valverde's winning these games at home, because Barca still have an amazing record at the Camp Nou, and they're going away from home, I feel that's more the players choking. Because if I'm correct here, Jordi Alba's crying at Anfield at halftime when they were only 1-0 down. That's the mentality on the players. You want Valverde to like put a coat over his shoulders and rub his back? And
You can't babysit these players. No, Judgman.
No.
You cannot babysit these players because
that's why.
Because they get a lot of money. Doesn't mean you should babysit them. Okay, guys, look, I'm out. I'll see you guys next Sunday. I'm out. Peace out. Peace out, guys. I'm out.